Oh
How do
my
you do
god,
that? That's
I
insane.
should I should deep fake your face on top of my face.
Please don't do that.
That would be so fun.
You know what we could totally do? We could totally
What?
talk about business. Before we do anything that actually is going to help or like
Yeah,
build your channel or anything, I need to
yeah.
know why you do what you do. I need to know who you are and what's important to you. I think that's a really
Okay.
good place to start because that's probably also the thing that people are most interested in.
Who,
I
what do I
I
wanna
don't like small talk a lot, so I like to ask like really like sometimes I open up with like you got a lighter one because one really good one to open up to is what do you want to do before you die? If that's an easier question, you could answer that one.
what do I wanna do before I die?
Hmm.
Um, make my visions come true.
What is your vision?
Um,
This got so serious. Let's go.
I know. My
Ne-
vision for
This is
my
my jam. Seriousness is my jam.
for Miko?
Depends on how you interpret it. I mean,
Okay.
it's a generalized question, right?
I think for Miko, I just want to create like a really solid live interactive game, like a live interactive performance game. It's kind of hard for me to describe it. I think it's easier if I give like an example. Like currently, right now, I'm working on an RPG with Miko, and the idea is for the chat to be able to go along a game character's adventure and see what her reactions would be like live, and have chat the audience be able to help her on her adventure journey thing. So my vision is to build like a interactive game, like an interactive live game type of thing. Does that make sense?
Yep, it's a good answer.
Yeah.
Let's go one or two steps back.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you decide to create the character Miko?
Why did I decide to do
Yes.
it? Why? Because I wanted to. I'm not sure. Because I wanted to. I'm trying to think. Why? I guess I woke up one day and I was like, no, that's not true. It was like a process.
Yep.
So, my background is I'm in research and development, right?
Hmm.
And it was specifically for live animation. And I wanted to basically, after like we got laid off, I always kind of had this vision of like wanting to take like that live animation aspect and integrate it with Twitch because I thought it would be perfect for Twitch. And so yeah, I think like maybe it's because like I really like Final Fantasy games and I
Yep.
thought it would be, yeah, I love Final Fantasy games and I thought it would be like super cool. Like, you know how when you watch Avengers or like a live action movie, like, and you get really invested in the actors, right? Like Robert Downey Jr. or whatever, and then you want to like uh watch his behind the scenes, or
Yeah.
if Robert Downey Jr. like did a live stream, like I would go there and watch it, right? Because I think Iron Man is so cool. So like I wanted to basically create like a live animated character that you can talk to um through Twitch uh or whatever, and this is what I'm saying makes sense. So basically, like when I would play Final Fantasy VII, I'd be like, oh, I wish I could talk to Tifa, or I wish I could talk to Cloud and see what is going on in their heads, stuff like
Mm.
that. I would say, yeah,
And this immersion element is really important to you.
yes,
So it makes me think of like um there's an old I'm gonna be weird because I read books and like a lot of people don't, so sometimes I bring up a lot of like weird references. But there's a book called the Rig Veda, which is like the core book in Hinduism,
mm-hmm.
and the core Rig Veda means the great play. That's what that translates to, and what it refers to is this idea of becoming so immersed in something that you forget that who you are. Like
Mm-hmm.
you literally an experience, if you can imagine, that's so interactive, and all of us have had this experience. Like maybe you're in a movie and the movie is so good that
Yeah.
that you're totally immersed in the movie. You don't even know who you are anymore until you're out of the theater because for that 2 hours you were completely in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That this movie 1917 did that for me. It was like an unbelievable
Oh,
experience.
I haven't seen that movie, but like it's like a depressing war movie.
War is sad
War is sad.
in a sense, right? Like
Yeah.
war in of itself is a difficult concept, but I think that those stories need to be told
Mm-hmm.
because we need to make sure that we don't stray too far from the remembrance of those types
Yeah.
of things because it was only 100 years ago. It's
Yeah.
not that
I
long.
agree.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So in that sense, I feel like one of the things that has come up in researching you and also just in talking to you has been this sort of persistent sense of immersion that you're trying to create,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
can you explain more about that and like what is going on there, like what your mindset is around that?
My mindset around immersion?
So a better question would be like what is your objective? What are you trying to create in terms of like immersion for people? What is like the viewer experience supposed to be in your and like
Oh,
how do you build that up? How do you structure that?
this is a loaded question, so it's kind of like technically, or are we talking about
Why is it
hmm,
loaded?
because are you asking like how do you make it immersive, or are you asking like
I'm asking why that's important to you. And then
oh
and then
why
it
immersion is important to
yeah,
me?
and then if you want to answer how, however, in the context of doing that.
I
Right.
see.
Mhm.
So like because then it's believable. If it's not immersive, then it feels fake.
Mhm.
And I think like it's important that chat believes what they're seeing.
Believes what?
Otherwise, hmm?
Believes what?
Believes what they're seeing. So like otherwise it just feels fake and awkward, right?
Hmm.
So
So
like if you take a movie
yeah.
and you have bad actors, then it's like it feels weird, right?
Yeah. So what constitutes a real experience for chat was kind of like my first real question for you. Like what it
Uh, when they believe what they're seeing, when they believe the character that they're seeing, I guess then it's immersive. Then that
oh,
constitutes
that's a
as a real
super good
feeling.
answer. So what is chat believing that to you? Because chat knows that Miko's not a real person logically, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It all comes down to how good of an actor someone is as a video game character, right? I'm not chat. Miko's real. Just calm down. Like, like I'm not there yet to be like that good of an actor to sell it, but I'm still like working on it. But it comes down to if you can, you know, fool the chat with your performance, right?
Ooh. So you're saying that. So do you actually think that your personal skill at being an actress is like one of the main relevant factors to like creating this? I don't know if illusion is the right word. Suspension of disbelief, maybe better.
With some, yeah, with some things like in my stream, definitely. Like right now, I'm doing a lot of interview segments, and her character, Miko's character, is kind of a douchebag.
Mhm.
She's kind of a lovable douchebag.
But you're not.
That's why you don't feel
I'm just kidding.
I'm like, huh? Um,
It's just a character.
maybe a little bit, but like like Miko's supposed to be like a lovable douchebag. That's why you don't feel so bad when you nuke her or when you mute her. It's funny,
Mhm.
you know. So so uh, sorry, I have an ADHD brain and I totally forgot my train of thought.
So you were saying that you felt like you as an actress was directly relevant to like this sort of suspension of disbelief that you put on with
Oh,
Miko.
yeah,
With
yeah,
this, yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
100%. Yeah, yeah, yeah. If I'm not honing my acting skills, then it feels fake and awkward.
Mm.
It doesn't feel like a real character. And like, the thing about streaming is like people stream as themselves, right? And it's really easy for the audience to connect with a real live streamer because it feels real and it doesn't it doesn't feel fake. But with a VTuber, you have to make them believe that the character that you're playing is like if that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. And
I don't know. I'm just like,
no,
I don't know.
it
Yeah.
probably feels like to you that what you're saying isn't for whatever it's worth. Like what you're saying is connecting. Like you're making a lot of sense.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
I would
know
tell
that.
you immediately if you weren't.
Okay. I know that I'm not very eloquent, so yeah, just let me know.
Well, I think you're not giving yourself enough credit. But so what you said that you have to make them believe that the character
Yeah.
is yeah. One of my challenges, one of my troubles with you, Codemiko, is that this is kind of like for me. I get kind of into these ideas of marketplaces or industries or sub industries within industries and things like that, right?
Yeah.
VTubing is such a place, and the more that I look into you, the more that I think that the less that I think that you're a VTuber in the traditional sense, which
Mhm.
like a VTuber seems to uh hmm, how do I say it? Like sort of like have these kind of constraints, but you operate
Yeah.
in a lot of ways outside of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Um I would honestly place myself as more of like uh, a concept VTuber, I guess.
Y-
Because like I'm building my stream around like a concept more than like, because I feel like a lot of the VTubers are they have a character and it's like a just chatting type of thing, right?
mhm.
But what I'm trying to do more is more like a show and like
Yes.
prove my concept than or like show my thing as like a concept than I don't know if that the concept's the right word.
See, that's
Um,
what's so interesting about you. It's very difficult to. So I also did this process, this thought process over the
mhm.
last couple of days, and I couldn't find a way to categorize you either. And then I
Yeah.
determined that you are not categorizable. That you are doing something that no one else is doing, and that is what
Um,
is the most interesting thing about you. I think that it's very valuable because when I restarted because I'd gone into business for a while and decided to like run some companies instead of broadcast, and then got out of that, came back to broadcasting and said, okay, if all I do is put a webcam on the side of my screen and play video games, I think I'm doing a disservice to what the platform is capable of. And
yeah.
I should do something. Oh, I'm getting bigger the more that I compliment you. This is good.
Oh my God, Mr. Devin Nash, did you know that it's like a thing? And like it actually is a thing. It's not a meme that if you get a boyfriend, your viewership drops by half.
Um, do you have data on that?
Huh?
Do you have data on that?
Kind of. So like,
Tell me.
okay, so um I so like I decided to do this segment where I went on Tinder for fun as myself, right?
Yeah.
And I found a boy through Tinder. And then after that, I was like talking about my personal life a lot on my stream.
Mm.
I kid you not, I've never seen this before on Twitch. My viewership dropped half after that. In a course of 3 days, okay? In a course of 3 days, my viewership dropped by half and I couldn't gain it back.
Was this back when you had like 50 viewers?
This was back when I had 400 viewers. And
Oh,
then
okay.
after I got my boyfriend, literally a few days like I saw the drops happening
Mhm.
and I was like, oh, it's just, Twitch being Twitch. And then it went half and it just stayed half. I've never seen this before. So
Did
it's
you so have you acquired this boyfriend fairly recently?
mhm.
Okay. And you've met him on Tinder like through this process?
It was like I did it on stream. It was supposed to be content. And then just for fun. I had this stream where I was just being myself and I was fooling around with chat.
Yeah.
And I did it for content. And after that, um I didn't mean to actually get a boyfriend, but I ended up getting one. And
Rip.
then my viewership literally dropped by half.
So, okay.
And none of it wasn't the meme.
There is okay, so we're going to get into some deep magic here.
Okay.
I don't like to quantify things unless I have a lot of stats to back it up. So I
Okay.
will qualify this by saying that I believe it is anecdotal.
Okay.
However, I would agree. There are many things we can prove quantifiably that are different about
Yeah.
female broadcasters versus male broadcasters. And I did a pretty long series of videos on this. One was a 4-hour talk with Amaranth about this. Another one was
Uh-huh.
an actual statistical breakdown of this. It is more difficult to be a female broadcaster on this platform by every single metric than it is to be a male broadcaster. Full stop. And
Uh-huh.
people think, well, you earn more money as a female. Not true, objectively. People, you gain more followers. Not true, objectively. You gain more subscribers. Not true, objectively. You can break all this down, and we can go through the entire thing, and I have, and we can quantify that. Where you see a lot of this problem is in Korea. I think like
Oh
in like
yeah.
Korea, you'll have female influencers that announce that they have boyfriends and things like that, and their brand just like disappears overnight.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
So I do think that this is a thing.
But now they
Yeah.
don't believe me and I'm trying to convince them that I have a boyfriend and they just chooses not to believe
If
me.
your goal is to optimize your viewership,
Yeah.
why tell them? Serious
Because
question.
it's funny. Because I talk about everything on my stream. I even let chat know that I'm menstruating.
So okay, what's it? What? All right, that's fine. I mean, like here's the thing. I just like I just caught that at the end, like at the
No,
end of the thought, and I was like,
when I like, when I'm Miko, right, I keep things more well, actually, no. Well, Miko is different, but, like, when I'm just being myself and I'm doing streams where I'm me,
yeah.
um, I just talk about anything and everything.
So, let's explore this, okay? And I'm not saying
Let's do
so.
it.
And I need to. Do you know about Dungeons and Dragons? It's a great way to open up a conversation with a girl.
No, I know of it, I've just never played it.
Do you know about alignments?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so you know how there's like lawful good, chaotic good. You don't know any of these lawful evil. These things.
No.
Okay. Because the context I'm going to try to explain this to you in is that I am generally an evil person.
Oh, me too, nice.
I'm not memeing, but most people think that I do.
No, I'm evil too, it's fine.
Okay, cool. All right. Well,
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
in saying that, so let's explore this idea, right? That if
Uh-huh.
you have the goal of growing a brand,
Yeah.
is it not a non-zero decision? Like it's like it's a decision, right? At the very least, to tell people if you have a boyfriend or not.
Well, I want him to be like, I want him to be part of stream at some point
Yeah.
because I have a second mocap sheet and I want to do two character at some
Oh.
point. Hmm.
Hmm.
And he's gonna play like this douchebag, but
Hmm.
this douchebag VTube character. But so I want him to be eventually part of my stream, and I also don't want like okay, for example, like there's people that like Jenna, Jenna Marbles, right?
Yeah.
Like her boyfriend is very much integrated in with Jenna, and like I don't think like Julian hurt Jenna Marbles' brand like at all. I think it actually helped her brand. So I don't think that having like my boyfriend is necessarily like detrimental to my brand because it's kind of what I want him to be part of it.
Yeah. So if we're gonna get like super real here,
Mm-hmm.
I think my personal opinion on this, right, is that
Yeah.
authenticity is always better to build an empire on authenticity than it is to build an
Mm-hmm.
empire on anything else.
Yeah.
That you should make sacrifices on your
Mm-hmm.
concurrent viewership and your brand
Yeah.
that are proportionate to your desire and passion to get something done. And this is something I do very often, and it's why
Yeah.
I maintain a relatively low viewer count on Twitch because I won't shave my balls for 5,000 subs, turn my hair blue, or I'm a competitive dancer. If I wanted, I could just like do like super hype $500 donation shit, like things like that. But what it would do is it would compromise the integrity that I have as a as
Wait,
whatever this is, right? And I respect you for doing the same. It's one of the things that I think
but five
came up.
thousand dollars
What?
is $5,000.
Yeah, but I've sold 2 companies. I'm rich as fuck anyway. What do I care about $5,000,
Oh.
right? No, I mean, what I'm saying is more seriously, right? What I'm saying is, money is like a sort of means to an end to accomplish things.
Uh-huh.
If you start to sacrifice your core integrity for money or clout or
Yeah.
fame or any other reason, um, you'll be miserable.
Yeah, I
That's
agree.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so keeping that openness, and the thing is, like, the way I always think about it is like, okay, a while back I decided to disable clips, and it's like
Oh, yeah, you don't have any VODs or clips anymore. What
nothing,
happened?
nothing. Yeah, the DMCA stuff hit, and and the way that Twitch handled it made me feel like Twitch is not committed to being a platform long term where I should store my content, and so I moved everything to YouTube instead.
Oh.
And in doing so, I decided I had to make a decision at that point. Well, do I want to enable my content further? And I determined that the main way that my clips are getting shared is LSF. And
Yeah.
then I had to make a determination is this, okay, will I be more popular if I have clips on and if I say hot takes and I get on the front page of LSF? Well, yeah, I will be. But what kind of viewership and what kind of audience am I attracting? And this is something that
Yeah.
I think that a lot of people that are building content, they don't think enough about. They think about how to
Mhm.
get more of an audience, but they don't think about what kind of viewers they want.
Yeah.
And I unequivocally do not want the kind of viewers, for the most part, that come from Reddit. Right? They are
Uh-huh.
mostly toxic and
Are they really?
in the context of what I'm doing because I do a lot of informational slash educational content,
Mm. Uh-huh.
which is kind of perceived correctly to be like sort of I often come off as like arrogant. This is also a character flaw.
Yes,
And
you
I,
do? Okay.
thank you. I think
No, no, no. I
I
have a question. You
oh
do?
oh you do oh you
Yes, yes,
do
sorry.
I do yeah because
Mhm.
like because and I am. I mean it's not an incorrect stereotype. Everything they say about me is true.
I don't know,
It-
you come off as, like, a very, um, like, teddy bear, like, a very comforting dad type, like, kind of, like, nerdy, but in a good way.
a comforting dad.
Like a yeah, like a
This is why I'm
comforting
undateable,
dad.
Twitch chat.
No, no,
All
no,
right,
no,
yeah.
like a comforting like, you feel very approachable, in my opinion.
That's cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's that. I think when I was first building like the Devin Nash brand on Twitch and
Yeah.
YouTube,
Uh-huh.
I was really far from that, and I still like in the sort of like progress of doing that. Oftentimes come off as like. So the funny thing is, like, you say that you're role playing a douchebag. My argument would be that I am a douchebag, and I'm trying to role play a nicer person.
Really? You seem very nice.
I'm trying really hard.
I don't know, I think you're actually a very nice guy who wants to appear to be a douchebag.
Ooh, that's some Jungian shit. I'll have to meditate on that. Maybe.
Like,
I
because if you because I heard you say that you don't want to do, like you don't wanna start selling your courses or something, over Twitch or something like that because then you expect your viewers to buy something from you or something, and then it's no longer like a and you were saying that you don't want anything from your Twitch chat?
yeah. So this is actually something that actually ties into our previous discussion, right? Is that
Uh-huh.
um, I the I had to make a decision in my life after 2015 if I wanted to, because from 2012 to 2015 I built a gaming brand on Twitch, and after that point, I said, do I want to be a full time content creator? And I decided that I didn't because I never wanted the focus of my content creation to be about the money or the clout that I was getting from it. And that's
Mhm.
why I still have a full-time job. It's why
Yeah.
and why I always will, because I felt like to expect my viewers to do something for me, like subscribe
Yeah.
or donate or to sell them something, would lose again what we were talking about before, that authenticity and that core integrity. I know for a fact I could sell a course and make $500,000 a year bare
Yeah.
minimum because I'm the
Yeah.
best person at building brands on Twitch. Full stop. Nobody's
Right.
better than me.
Yeah.
And I could do that, but I feel like there is something that gets lost in that. All of a sudden now the relationship between me and like you, for example, like right now I'm giving this talk and I don't
Mhm.
really benefit from it. Right. Like
Mhm.
I'm doing it because I really believe in what you do. I think that
Aw.
I think that what you do is super unique and I really want to help and be a part of that. And if I get no gain from that, it's completely fine.
Aw. This is why you're my pocket Devin.
Okay. Okay. And but what I'm saying is like if there was a course on top of that and it was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, hey Miko, by the way," and I like tell your viewers, if you go to www.devinnash.com/course, right, for $200 you can sign up to learn how to be a Twitch streamer. Doesn't that feel like something got lost in that transaction? All of a sudden
Mhm.
and so the trade-off is like, well, is the money worth it? To like
Yeah.
because I could it's that and these are I think intuitive in this and what's relevant to our conversation about building brands and content creation sort of overall is like content creators should be considering and making these tiny decisions all the time in order to sort of build the house they want to live in within their own, which is their stream. Like if you imagine your stream is like a house and your brand is like a house, what do you want in it? Like what do you want it to look like? How's it going to be designed? How big is it? How small is it? Right? Some people want a really big house. You want 10,000 concurrent viewers. Some people want a very small one. I want like 1,000, and I'm really chill with that, and I really like it. Right? Those decisions should be
Yeah.
made, and I think that there's something that you lose when the conversation becomes more about you transacting something. It's like if I was charging you for this or some shit. You see what I mean? The
Yeah.
relationship changes, and I don't like that feeling, and so I
Mhm.
don't do it. Did I lose you?
So, Mr. Devin,
Yes.
a really, really loud
What?
donation message popped up
Oh yeah.
while you were doing your spiel.
Well, I did my monologue. My
Yeah,
evil villain monologue. I was about to take over the world and explain
yeah,
how.
and it was so loud. I'm so sorry.
Wow. So I give a whole monologue about how money isn't
Hold
important and
on,
a
hold on.
donation
I'm sorry,
takes
but
over your attention.
I'm telling my dorm
You
to
know what?
lower
I am
that.
selling a course. Twitch.tv
Hold
slash Devin Nash / course. Okay, now for $200, you can learn how to be a VTuber like Codemiko and make more money. I changed my mind.
You don't want to sell a course because then our interaction gets isn't pure anymore.
Yes.
Like the gist of it. Yeah.
And in that context, that the reason why I said that was because I think it's really important that we as content creators decide how to build our brands.
Yeah.
And that's not that seems like a very dumb thing to say, but
Hmm.
the keyword is like most people I think they start off with like an idea in their head of like I want a lot of viewers or I want a lot of money and then they end up in a place where they're miserable because they didn't construct their like their brand to something that makes them happy. And
Yeah.
I know so many larger tier streamers in like the top 500 that are fucking miserable because they hate their communities.
Really?
Yeah. Like I can't I'm not going to tell you. I can tell you like offline. But like yeah, really. The majority of
Oh
like top
wow.
100 streamers are not happy. Vast majority.
That's
And
crazy.
everyone can think of like this is not I don't think also that this is like no I think viewers intuitively understand this as well if they think about it a little bit. So the lesson here is that you begin with the end in mind. And I think you did that both advertently and inadvertently in deciding because your original passion for streaming to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like it was because you wanted to show this tech. And then, like, because when I asked you, and I did that deliberately, right? I took some notes on it. What you said
Hmm.
was, I wanted to create a live animated character that you can talk to. Like, I played Final Fantasy VII. I said, what would it be like if we talked to Tifa? And my vision was to build an interactive character and make people believe that it was like
Yeah.
that it was like
Yeah.
them. Yeah. So what you said was you started the stream with the object. You didn't really start the stream for viewership or for
Uh-uh.
making this a full time job.
No, I wanted it to be my full-time job because I hate working for corporate.
You hate working for corporate.
Yeah, because I can't like do my own creative vision when you're working for someone else and you're just a cog on the wheel, you know? I hate that so much.
Hmm.
So like I want to make money doing something that I love. So yeah. So I want to this is the only job that I want to do.
I understand that now. What I'm saying is like
Mhm.
when you first started this, you did it as like a proof of concept, and like the objective was like to show like you're passionate about building this thing, right?
Well, when I first started it, I wanted it to be my full-time job too.
Yes, I get that. Yeah.
Wait, I'm
Okay, so
confused.
you had an objective from the ground up to make it a full time job.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Interesting, huh?
Because I don't want to work for anyone else.
How did you know it
I
would work?
because I just believed in myself.
Yeah, that's cool. That's not an easy thing to do.
I
Interesting.
just I don't know. I'm a little bit insane because I basically had this idea and I knew how hard Twitch was because everybody's stuck at 10 viewership or they can't go past 100 viewers or even when they get to like 500 it's like it's not enough to make money, right?
Yeah,
I knew how hard Twitch was, but I don't know. I just was like, I told myself like I don't want to give like 1,000% of my efforts to to make someone else's dream come true. I rather put literally everything on what I want to do, and if it doesn't work out, then I mean I'll go back to corporate. I'll be in the same place.
you can always go back.
Yeah, but I told myself like I'd rather kill myself than go back
Yeah,
to corporate.
yeah, I
So
yeah.
I bought all the equipment. I was like 20 grand in debt. I didn't have any income. Um my first month on stream I made like $3. My second month on stream I made 300 I think. And then like my rent because I moved here to relocate for my job. And I had a tech job so it was paying me well so I had a really like this apartment for LA is kind of like LA apartments can be very expensive, right?
I lived in LA
So
for yeah.
yeah. And then so my lease wasn't up either. So like I was paying like two grand for this apartment and then every month and then debt and I was making like $300 on Twitch. But I just kept chugging at it and going at it and I just didn't stop and then, it worked out.
It
It worked out.
what time frame was this all in?
I started the project in January, and then I dev till end of March, and I showed off Codemiko around end of March, and then yeah, so I started end of March.
When you
But
when you first started
uh-huh.
broadcasting, you just had a proof of concept. You hadn't like launched the character yet.
So she's still a prototype. I still think I don't think this is her final look just yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I keep there's like I don't know, maybe I should just stick with it. But you know how like it might just be my perfectionism kind of ruining things, maybe. It's like, oh, she doesn't look a certain way enough, or she doesn't fit what I want, like her vision enough. So I'm like, I want to create another version of her. But so I still kind of see it as a prototype.
The second time you ever streamed was March 18th, and you
Oh,
had
is it?
467 viewers.
That's so
How,
that's the second time
yeah, how did that happen?
I got rated
By who? Just like
by
a VTuber or someone you
no,
know?
I ran so like my friend of a friend who's a gamer who plays StarCraft rated me on that second stream. And then from there I started and then I got a popular clip on LSF
Yeah.
and I got my initial 50 like my base 50 viewers. And then what happened was Twitch has this thing called shadow banning where like when a channel grows too fast, they mark it as like a potential bot or whatever, like, you know, 'cause it's to prevent like sports or porn from being broadcasted.
I
I don't
don't
know.
think that's true.
I contacted Twitch about it.
They told you that they have a shadow ban feature that
Well, here I can read their email.
no, I just think they're lying to you, which is something they do a lot. But so there's a shadow ban feature that the only way the only context that shadow ban actually exists in, if you get departnered, um you will not be listed in the search directory because of a bug they just can't seem to fix. So this is like what happened to Mitch for like a really long time, for example.
So what happened with me
Yeah.
was that I wasn't searchable, and I also wasn't like my own followers couldn't see me live. So I had to like tell people to click on a link and go to my channel directly because
Whoa.
they couldn't find me unless they like search like literally type my name on the web browser or I gave them a direct link to my stream. And this went on for a month. So like the initial growth I had from LSF and from that raid pretty much died because um no one could like no one could see me that I was live.
I had no idea this exists. That's actually insane. So
Yeah,
so
and
so if you grow too fast immediately, Twitch will shadow ban you from search results because that's literally the dumb. So sometimes Twitch does things that are so dumb that even I can't believe it, and that's why I initially
uh-huh.
didn't believe that because um that literally that's like, let's say that you have a YouTube video and
Mhm.
the YouTube video is going viral and it's going to be successful, right? You would want
Yeah.
the most amount of people to discover that in the shortest amount of time.
Mhm.
So what YouTube would do is it would plug it into its algorithm, and then it actually would feature that video to more and more recommended people as the click through rate maintains consistently.
Yeah.
And that's indeed what YouTube does, and why YouTube is such a good platform in discoverability. The idea that Twitch limits discoverability because of success is so unbelievably dumb that I couldn't believe that they could do it.
I don't
So
know if it's like so the word shadow ban I'm kind of throwing around. Like I don't know if they're actually shadow banning, you know, but
no,
uh,
it seems to be some kind of automatic process that was
yeah,
originally intended for like bots or for like.
yeah.
So let's say that here's my thinking. Okay, let's say have you ever? How long have you been on Twitch? Like total? Like how long have you been like with the platform? Not streaming, but just like on the platform.
Um 45 years.
4 or 5 years.
Mhm.
Do you remember what happened to the artifact section?
The artifact section?
Yeah, the game Artifact on Twitch.
Uh-uh.
Okay, so Artifact was a game that was made by Valve that totally flopped, right? Just complete awful. Yeah.
Yeah.
So nobody was playing the game, and then like the section was just dead, right? Nobody streams Artifact. Like, why would you? So a guy got it in his head to write a script that he figured out that Twitch had no two-factor authentication or really any kind of barrier to creating an account and then streaming immediately. besides an email address. So what
Uh-huh.
he did was he created a Hydra where he would stream hardcore porn. And if you and once it and then he also figured out, this is just an ingenious set of things. He also figured out that all Twitch bans were manual at the time. So it would take
Oh,
it would
wow.
take an admin to actually go in, physically ban the account, etc. But every time you ban the account, his script writes 4 more emails and he starts 4 more streams. And so it goes that all of a sudden there are literally hundreds of hardcore porn streams in the artifact section for days and days and days. And Twitch had no idea. Twitch had to shut down fucking account creation
Oh
because they
my
didn't know how to
god.
stop this. And what would happen is that every single time that somebody discovered one of these streams, they would like all filter into them.
Yeah.
And there would be like 5,000 viewers on the stream. Now all of Twitch's algorithms are kicking in. So people are just seeing some girl just getting dicked down on the fucking front page, right? And now this has enormous sponsorship complications and everything. And it's just a shit show, right?
Oh my
So
god.
what probably happened was some engineer, right, was like,
Yeah.
okay, we need to make it so that streams that grow at a very fast rate are going to not show up, because if that is a dick, then then Amazon's gonna freak the fuck out because we've literally
Yeah,
got
yeah, yeah.
hardcore porn on like a front. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's like uh a classic kind of like one hand not talking to the other type of thing.
Yeah.
Where like nobody was like, well, couldn't that be bad for like a stream that's like legitimately going viral and like gaining some kind of traction? That's really interesting.
Yeah.
hmm So that's where I'm not saying that happened because of Artifact, because there's probably
Mhm.
instances of this before. I'm just drawing that analogy just so people understand it. It's one of the most
Yeah.
hilarious things. They had to this day they have a different kind of authentication.
That is hilarious.
Yeah,
I think
because
I remember when this was going down because I remember seeing a lot of porn on Twitch, and I was like, "What the what's going
you
on?"
used to be able to go to the just chatting section and you could literally find hardcore porn, and now all you can find is
Yeah.
softcore. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, but you used to like every single day you could go into the just chatting section. You could find hardcore porn, like straight up, just like fucking Pornhub videos.
Ah, the good old days.
That was it. Yep. So
Yeah.
I totally didn't know that. That's actually crazy that happened.
Mm, yeah.
So this happened all the way through May, it looks like.
Yeah, I think so. Or yeah, Maze. Because I went from like so I grew really fast and I was super proud because I got like I was like a 50 CCTV with just me, and then I got to like 100 CCTV with just me, and then I got that, and then it just plummeted down to like 15
Yeah.
for a while, and that was so sad. I think like the first couple months I didn't stream that much because like I was like, what's the point? I'll just dev a bunch of stuff and like contact Twitch a bunch.
You
Um
started to get really consistent around July.
oh, is that when I got because I remember like because I was still building a lot of things as I was streaming. So I would take like 2 weeks off to like build something and then come back. So that makes sense.
What's interesting too is that you don't stream for very long.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
you'll stream for like 3 or 4 hours and then you're
Mhm.
donezo, which is
Yeah.
counterintuitive. This is one of the things that I talk about a lot, is that a lot of people think that time in is like a really important metric on Twitch, and they think this because most of the top streamers put in an insane amount of hours, but that's more of an ROI thing from the amount of revenue they're generating and not so
Yeah.
much correlated to the amount of viewers they have.
Yeah,
E
I yeah.
Example, this is Austin, right? Sorry.
Oh, Austin show?
Austin show. Yeah. So for
Yeah,
example,
yeah,
Austin can stream 9 hours a week, minute like maybe, and
yeah.
100,000 viewers. Yeah, it's the type of content more so than yeah.
Right,
What were you gonna say?
yeah. I was gonna say like I streamed for just 3 to 4 hours because like I noticed that after that my viewership would drop and I wouldn't get any followers or subs or anything. So I just decided to spend that time on deving because it's just a better use of my time rather than just with no just stream on Twitch with no progress. So
Spend that time on Devin.
deving.
Oh, okay. I was like, man, there's another one. the
Um,
So your intuition is 100% right because that's actually backed up via the stats.
Yeah.
there is a diminishing return after 6 hours broadcasted is about the number. It's like it's a little bit variable, give or take like 10 minutes. But basically, after 6 hours, there's essentially no point in running a stream. If your goal
Yeah.
is growth. Yeah. If your goal is
Yeah.
revenue,
Yeah.
then yeah. And
Yeah.
what's interesting is if you actually run a 24-hour stream, go all the way back around, then when you hit that original start time again, you get another boost for another 6 hours, which is really kind of cool. So that means that like if you're running a 30-hour stream, then you would get a boost from 0 to 6 hours and 24 to 30 hours. But in between
Mhm.
you wouldn't. But your concurrent viewership will be higher because of the people that are keeping your stream on passively in your chat.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I should just do 30 hours straight.
I have never done a 24-hour stream, and I would never recommend anybody in their sane mind do so. I think it's crazy to do that.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Unless I'm trying to like do fundraising or something.
Yeah, maybe if you're gonna run like a charity, but then even then, like why
Yeah.
not like a 12-hour
Hype charity
like
stream. Yeah.
yeah,
That makes sense.
we could do one. We could do
Oh,
uh,
can I do one with you? Because I would love to do a charity stream. With my interaction, I feel like we could raise a lot of money. And like I contacted Twitch because I wanted to do one,
mhm.
and be on front page. But they were saying that I couldn't get it because I haven't been partner enough. So
Y-
understandable.
Depends on who you
But
talk to. I can
oh
talk to you
really?
about that later. Yeah, of course.
Devin's so cool. But I would love to do a charity stream with you if it's possible somehow. Because
I
I
feel
think
like if I ever
mhm,
did a dance charity stream, I would raise
mhm.
like some bazillion dollars for something.
Dang.
We've done over this year. We've done over $100,000 in charity through as a podcast that I'm on with my friend Tyler,
That's cool.
and that's been good. So we did Australian wildfires, we did BLM, we did what else did we do? I don't remember. But it's something like that. And yeah, I think it's one of the really unique applications of Twitch is like this is like because I generally consider VOD to be like superior as a content delivery platform, like in every single way.
Uh-huh.
But one of the few places that it isn't, is in this idea of like charity or like live events. The greatest example of this on Twitch, I think, is Awesome Games Done Quick, right? And
Yeah.
I love Awesome Games Done Quick so much. Like I think it's such a cool thing that we can get together once a year and raise like $2 million for Doctors Without Borders. That's so fucking awesome.
Gee, that is so cool.
Yeah, that's
That is
it's like
awesome.
really really neat. And so I like Twitch streamers having the really unique ability to like galvanize audiences around something. Like it always kind of like
Mhm.
bothers me a little bit when like I see like 70,000 people watching XQC fart into a microphone, and I'm like, this could be like a political movement. Like we could do something good with this. And to some extent, like they do use their platform for that. And like entertainment shouldn't always be that, right? It shouldn't always
Yeah.
have that impetus. But like I just what I'm trying to say is I appreciate the good that like a live atmosphere can do when it's utilized that way, when it's directed that way.
I wonder if he can like sorry, I was thinking about what you were saying,
Yeah.
and then I got my train of thought kind of I was gonna talk about SQC farting, but I think let's move on to another
Well,
topic.
I mean, we can talk about that if you'd like.
No. It's
Yeah.
okay. It's okay. Let's not. Yeah. Okay.
So in July, you started going consistent. August, September, October, November, December to now.
Mhm.
And basically, as of the past almost like 2 weeks, you've really gotten to a place that you didn't expect, did expect, question mark, which is like this
Oh yeah.
actual presence, lots of people hearing about you every day, probably an insane amount of followers, which I didn't check, and I don't think we put in the notes, guys. What are we doing?
So I got so I got this Twitter post. There was this Twitter post that like went viral
What
and
day was that?
um
On the 5th of December, you got
uh-huh.
8,461 follows in one day, which is
I
insane.
think so okay, so I had a Twitter blow up and then Hasanabi rated me the next day, I think. So I had
That that was December 4th? No,
there's
it
one
was.
there
Had to be.
okay. So I had Hasanabi rated me like the day like
Yeah.
Like my Twitter blew up and then I streamed and then I had a really good stream that day. And then the next day I had another good stream and then Hasanabe rated me. I think. I'm not 100% sure,
You
but
streamed for 10 hours this day, 11 hours.
yeah, when Hasanabe rated me, I think so. Yeah.
So you decided to stay on much longer than you would have normally because of that, or what?
No, so what happened was oh yeah, I remember now. Okay, so I think I remember now. Okay, so I got huge exposure on Twitter.
Mhm.
And then so I decided, oh, this is a good time to do my tech streams because there's a lot of new people here and my tech streams usually like gains more people. The viewership goes up during that time. And then so I stayed on, did my tech stream, and I think it was around 6, 7 hours at this point, or 5, 6, 7 hours at that point. And then that's when Hassan rated me. So he rated me towards the end of my stream, and then so that's why decided to stay longer because he rated me with a bunch of new viewers, and yeah, that's why I streamed for 10 hours that day.
Why did Hassan rate you? Do you know?
My clips are on LSF, I think, and he
Mhm.
was looking through the LSF clips and he saw a few of mine. Yeah.
And how did you feel when that happened?
I think like I had a lot of like nervous gas that day. That night. Yeah, so I had
What an amazing answer. Okay.
Um,
I
yeah,
think I had a lot of nervous gas.
uh-huh. Yeah. And yeah, I have been suppressing everything, like all my feelings, like all the excitement and everything. I've been kind of suppressing it and
And
I
it
haven't
comes
been
out as
feeling.
gas?
Yeah. It
Mhm.
just converts into gas and then yeah, because I think I would start freaking out if I process things right now. Cuz I was getting around like I was like falling to 200 viewers before Hassan rated me. Like when I say falling, that like I would stream and I would be at like I would fluctuate, right? But my lowest points would be around like 200.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
I see that. I mean, I've been looking
yeah,
at your I've been looking at your records.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then and then I jumped up a little bit because before my Twitter blew up, I had I went to VR chat with Will Neff and like his audience came over to my Twitch channel, like I got a lot of followers from Will Neff, and then I had actually another Twitter post before my viral one that did really well, and then so I got a lot of followers from there. So I actually got a little bit of a boost right before my Twitter went viral. And then the next day, my Twitter went viral. And then I streamed and I had a big jump in viewership again. And then Hasanabi rated me. And then the next time, I had another big jump in viewership.
Mhm.
And so I didn't and I haven't been looking at my viewership since my first exposure. So
Can we talk
yeah,
about that?
sure.
I think that not looking at your viewership is one of
Mhm.
the absolute healthiest things that you can do as a broadcaster.
Yeah,
It is
yeah.
so fucking neurotic. You know what's a weird thing is like the VTuber like sex connection. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The hentai stuff.
Yeah, you don't do this. And then in our research, our analytics, it
Hmm.
seems like that's an actual intentional decision, which maybe goes back to our brand authenticity thing.
Hmm.
Because I
Yeah.
think at some point you said that you knew you could do not safe for work content and you believe there
Hmm.
was a lot of money there, but something
Yeah.
stopped you from doing it.
Yeah.
You want to tell me more about that?
Yeah.
Because I think it's cool.
I practiced moaning with my friend over Discord voice. And I was like,
If you ever need
I
another
don't
friend, let me know. I'm kidding.
okay. I was like, you know what? Let's see if I can moan. And then I practiced it over Discord voice and
Mhm.
it was so cringy. I was like, I can't do this. Like even so at this point I was like $20,000 in debt. And Project Melody was coming out with her stuff and she was making bank. And like $20,000 in debt, chatterbait money, you
Mhm.
know, it looked pretty good. But I couldn't get myself to do it because I have a lot of respect for girls that do work in the sex industry. I don't think there's anything wrong with women who choose to, work in the sex industry. Um, but like I just couldn't get myself to like poom on camera. You know what I mean? Like
I
it's
want to
just
dress this up better. Like it seems to me that you made an intentional and authentic decision that doing not safe for work content was more important to you because of like the a certain like level of like value and integrity that you have over your
Okay, yeah.
character. And that's not to
I
say
don't
that people don't have integrity or value in doing
right.
not safe for work content. Just
Right, yeah,
that that
that's
was your closer
yeah,
to
yeah.
your
I just
definition
I
of it.
just don't wanna I just don't wanna diss people who do
I
because
understand.
I
I
was
don't
gonna
think that
say
comes. Yeah.
okay, I was gonna say along the lines of like I had enough. I was like something along the lines of like I don't know. I don't like even saying it because it sounds rude, but I was like I have dignity, but it's just
No, no, no,
I,
it's not that.
I don't know how
It's
to.
a value judgment, right?
Yeah.
Like, and that value judgment has to be independently. Okay, so like we categorize these things like not safe for work content has like this certain connotation. Safe for work content has a certain connotation. I don't think that people who are actually creating content, or at least like
Uh-huh.
top content creators that I speak to, have that distinction. I think a lot of people that are viewers have that distinction, but it's a false dichotomy because
Mhm.
like a person isn't inherently more valuable because they decide to do not safe for work
Yeah.
content
Yeah.
or yeah,
Yeah.
those are things that those are actual that I think that's more of like a branch of like a sort of like toxic thing that we kind of need to like get rid of
Yeah, I
is that
agree. Yeah.
yeah, this idea that like female broadcasters should are like we always see this this comment come up. It's like, oh, you're only successful because you have your tits out and like
Right. Right.
well, okay, what's first of all, I can quantifiably break down why that isn't true, but let's say that it is. So the fuck what?
Yeah. Yeah.
What like
Yeah.
then what? There are all kinds of things that that sell, and there
Yeah.
are all kinds of ways to get to play the attention economy, and the idea of sex work or not safe for work content is just another one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess like also when it came to not choosing to do not safe for work content for me was that I'm a little bit like there's some things that I wanted to prove to myself, I guess, that I wanted to prove to myself that I didn't have to do NSFW work to survive and make money. I wanted to prove to myself that I could create interactive content and be able to sustain my channel with my like interactive games on stream instead of selling tits and boobs, like
Yeah.
selling boobs and butt.
Eh,
There's nothing wrong with it. It's just that like just technicality wise, I would have been more proud of myself if like my designs actually like my game designs actually sold to Twitch audience than, you know. But
yeah, I respect that, and I think that it was more authentic to you, and that's why I respect it.
mhm,
Um, what is interesting about you is that you could actually you're the only broadcaster or VTuber that I like, again, like putting you in that category is a little bit weird, but like you're the
mhm,
only person where I feel like you could just run your stream. So like
mhm.
you're I know you don't want to hear this because it's gonna trigger your imposter syndrome, but I'm gonna tell you it. In the next 2 to 3 weeks, you
Yeah.
are gonna be a 5 to 7K concurrent
Uh,
person. Yeah, yeah. I'm the best at this on Twitch. I'm almost never wrong. Like 70% of the time, I get right, which is like Warren Buffett levels with stuff like this. That's where you'll be. So like
I don't know. I don't think so.
well, it's probably important that you don't think that. So
Okay.
I'm not gonna try to correct it.
Oh,
Um,
I don't.
assuming that it could be true, and that's if you keep your streams consistent, you keep doing what you're doing right now. If you because the thing you don't want to do right now is stop streaming. We talked about this offline a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
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 Okay. But what's so interesting about you is that I feel like you could do that whether you had this, like this person, or you did Miko. Either one, you did Miko full time, or you did a blend, or you did this, it would happen.
Mhm.
And that's really interesting to me because
Really?
that's not something that I see a lot. That's really quite interesting. It'd take me longer to think about why that is, but it's it's true.
Really?
Yeah. Like you going forward as the technician and just running a stream about that could work. And even like becoming like a like playing games on stream. That would work at this point. I don't think it would have worked initially. But because you've already reached the point of that kind of saturation, and this is one of the things that I want to do is we haven't even gotten into the brand talk. Like I have so much on that, right? Like
Okay. Okay.
but
Yeah.
like because I actually have like believe it or not, I'm not just talking about bullshit. Like I have like a whole thing. But you one of the things you're doing right now is like you are fucking like speed running Twitch. Like so like you have like 2 or 3 interviews a day sometimes.
Mhm.
That's really hard to sustain. Um
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and so I think part of what we're gonna do today is
Mhm.
kind of holistically look at that approach and see if you can't. And I hesitate to do this, and I think it's going to be like see if you can't incorporate a little bit more low effort content. And I don't say low
Mhm.
effort in the sense of low production quality or low quality. I say it in the sense that you have to be mindful of your time and the effort that you're putting in, but you have to correspond that to your stream hours because you are at a very unique place on Twitch right now. And I want to tell you what I mean by that.
Okay.
Okay. So, most of the time when I speak to content creators, streaming more often, and I told you a little bit about this offline, is
Mhm.
not my suggestion. I think they
Yeah.
should diversify. I think that they should get off the platform if possible. And I think that they should be in multiple places for discovery. And all of that applies to you. But at the current moment in time, you are on a trend upward where like these LSF clips and everything is going to continue. More and more people are going to like snowball into your channel. The greatest benefit you have right now is like streaming consistently, even if it's like 4 or 5 hours a day for the next like 3 or 4 weeks. That is literally the best thing you can do for your brand right
Mhm.
now. And that's not where a lot of Twitch streamers are at. Most people, if they kept doing that, they just stay where they're at and they wouldn't go anywhere. So figuring out how you can sustainably do that and stay sane is really important.
So, so 3 interviews a day is too much because I'm gonna be going through all of my streamers pretty fast, right? Pretty soon
I
I
think
will have.
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's one. I think secondly, interview content,
Mhm.
speaking from personal experience, is
Yeah.
a very it's very energy intense on your
Mhm.
part, but also, as you've noticed, when you run an interactive broadcast where it's
Yeah.
you in the chat, your follows will like your growth will be way better. So this is
Mhm.
a little bit unintuitive because the collab that you're doing right now, where there's some
Yeah.
percentage of my audience that's never heard of you, and that will help you.
Yeah.
But
Uh-huh.
the interactive streams that you do following this in the next couple of days will be what actually keeps you. And the concept around this in marketing is called know, like, and trust. So to know someone, right, is the first step of brand building. You have to know who they are. So you start with that. Right now, you're in the know process. Most people, as an aggregate on Twitch, do not know who you are,
Yeah.
but most people know who I am, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but the second part of that, like, so do they know you, right? Do they like you? Is the second part, and then the third part is do they trust you? And then if they trust you, they'll buy things from you. So I'm at the part where most people know me. Not everybody likes me, and the amount of people that I would like to trust me do. So you are in the no part, which means that you are on this like upward curve, and you need to get as many people to know you as possible. After that, you get them to like you. So knowing is like the collaborative part and the LSF part and the Reddit part. The like part is you running those interactive streams, showing your technology, showing your personality, showing Miko. Does all this make sense?
Yeah.
Like people learn to like you because of the clip you had where you like try to create Hassan avatar and it went like horribly wrong.
Yeah.
Right? That's
Yeah.
that's a that's a like building exercise. And
Mm.
then over time, trust comes when it's like, okay, I've been a member of your community for a while, and because of that, for a lot of streamers, trust is mainly I'm a little bit different in this sense because trust for me is like, are you going to take care of me from an educational standpoint? Like I'm giving information, and so like people have to trust me on like a different level. For you, trust is like will you be here for me? Like if I subscribe to you, are you going to be
Yeah.
here in a consistent basis? Are you going to come back? Like, do you stop streaming for a month?
Yeah.
Are you going to create fairly consistent content? A lot of content creators fuck that up because they like sometimes they come to the stream and they're very sad and depressed. Another day they come and they're like super happy and amped. That actually doesn't build trust because people don't know what to expect. And if you look at the
Oh.
top creators, it's basically the same stream every time. Look at Asmongold or Soda Poppin', right?
Mm.
Like you go to the stream, you know exactly what to expect. You're not
I
going to get like a
see.
crazy variance in emotional energy, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm on my period.
That's cool.
Yeah. So that definitely happens with me when I'm
Mhm.
on my period.
What does?
Emotional inconsistencies. Like emotional inconsistencies.
Do you think people can tell?
Yes, they can tell. I need to keep it under control.
Are you like on the verge of crying or something? Like, are you have a mental breakdown or something? I don't know.
No, I just get really upset on stream, and I threaten my chat that I'm gonna kick their balls.
You threaten that you're gonna kick their balls.
But they like it.
Yeah, they do, because that's the kind of chat that watches. Yeah, they like it because that's doesn't sound okay. Listen, okay, that's actually a thing. All right, because when I do that, I say, "Shut up, dumbass! You're gonna drive a forklift for the rest of your life, and you're gonna make fucking $3 an hour, and you fucking have no idea what you're gonna do with the rest of your life, and you're fucked." And when I do that, people are like, "Holy shit, this guy's an asshole." But if you say, "Shut up, chat! I'm gonna kick you in the balls," right? Like, then that comes off as like, oh, she's not really mad.
I mean, sometimes
It's
I
good.
get triggered though.
Oh, really?
I say, yeah, sometimes I say mean things to chat too. I say stuff like, "Oh, I'm gonna put your dick up your butt and then turn it into a vagina, and then I'm going to um put your," I don't know. I
Okay,
just
but
go
no one's
on.
like, no one's life is ruined by that, Miko. Like, no one's gonna like get off stream and be like, oh my god, I can't believe she said that. Oh my fucking god, she said she was gonna turn my dick into a vagina. My life is fucking over. Like, they don't sit on their bed just like fucking devastated as a result of that. So it adds to the color and the humor of your stream.
I mean, I've said, I'm trying to think of all. I'm just trying to think of all through all throughout insults, the insults I've said, and I know I've said insults towards my chat whenever.
People can
When they,
tell when like someone is like legitimately mad versus
oh yeah, that's true.
yeah.
That's true. That's true.
And I
Yeah,
don't
that's
think you
true.
broadcast that energy, and that kind of thing makes people feel comfortable. One of my number one
Okay.
problems is that I do that. I do get like legitimately ass pained, and then like people can sense it. Yeah.
So before like this whole thing happened, like I used to look at my viewer count so much,
Mhm.
and it was so toxic because it would affect my mood the next.
100%. Yeah.
And I just got depressed at some point, and like that really felt like the fluctuation of my viewership. I think it like hurt more because I would get depressed about my viewer count, and then it would just go like when you get depressed on stream, it's like it gets worse the next stream, and it's like a terrible
It's a
negative
cycle.
feedback.
It's a snake eating
Yeah,
its
yeah,
own
yeah,
tail.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't even know I was at 2,000 viewers until someone told me. I didn't even know I hit 1,000
Mhm.
until someone in chat like yelled it out.
I don't think you should ever get rid of that practice. I
Yeah.
really don't. Because what's going to happen is you're going to grow to a certain, I'm going to predict the future. They call me Nostradamus for this
I
reason.
don't like thinking that I'm gonna be at
No, I'm going to give you bad news. You like bad news. It's going to trigger all those bad feelings in you. It's going to be great. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, so you're going to hit a concurrent viewership that is very high. I don't know how high. I can guess. Probably don't want to know the number.
I don't wanna kid anything.
Yeah, but she picks up her phone because that's like where you go to the happy place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's my
Okay.
this is
So
where my boyfriend lives.
text him, make him say, "There's a man on my screen making me feel bad. Come beat him up." But he
It's
can't because
where
he's a fucking robot. I can take a fucking AI.
he's real.
Okay.
He's so real.
Text him. Text him then. Have him come fight me if he's a
I'm
real
gonna
robot. Unless he's an
I'm
actual
gonna
robot. Robot would kick my ass like an iRobot thing. Holy shit. Fuck that. What if he's an AI like in a robot body and he's not just like a disembodied AI? Then we fucked up.
Okay. I'm gonna make sure, hold on. Meet Brand. No, hold on.
Why are we doing this?
Hello.
Brandon! Oh my god! Like a whole new dude, can you tell chat please that you're real?
This is your brother. You talk again?
What? Hello?
I'm your mom. I
What?
think you called the wrong number.
Okay, yeah, whatever. Anyway,
Wow,
Brandon
that
is
was
real,
weird.
but don't worry, Brandon just likes to do that, but he's real. And he's real.
Yeah, that's what
And
someone that was trying to convince me that their fake AI boyfriend is real is trying to say. But that's okay.
okay.
Good diversion. So
Okay.
she reaches for the phone, makes the phone call because this is an uncomfortable subject. So we just dive even deeper into the subject. Keep going. Double down. Okay.
Fine,
So
fine. Go ahead.
yeah,
Go ahead.
let's do it. Yeah, okay, so you'll hit a concurrent viewership that is very high. I'm not going to tell you how high. And then you'll drop back down, actually. Like you will drop down to a much lower number than that. And then you will stay there consistently for a while. So what you will feel like if you analyze your viewer count during that time, and this is sort of like this sort of like toxic cycle that every broadcaster gets into that like gets discovered this way, is goddamn, I'm a shit content creator because I had X number of viewers and now I have Y.
That's 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 what that's what I do to myself.
Yes. So I think that process is impossible to stop unless you do not look at the numbers or you only look at the numbers over a certain date range. And the truth is, I'm going to tell you, from a statistical perspective, you can only really analyze trends. I mean, like really realistically over like a 30-day period. And I would even say longer is better because the longer distribution of time that goes out, the longer you like, the more that you can account for anomalies. So, for example, we can't assume. So let's say that you had on the day that Hassan rated you, right? You had 9,000 viewers peak, like on the peak of the host. So, are you a 9,000 viewer streamer? Does that mean that you should have 9,000 viewers all the time? Well, no, right? But if you made that distinction, you would be eating yourself, and like you'd be killing yourself because you would think that, right? So when you do a long enough statistical distribution, you account for anomalies. So like if you are doing incredible this past like 7 to 14 days, the absolute worst thing to do is look at your like 1 day real time, 7-day, 14-day stats.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
and I'm going to tell you the most important thing that I've ever learned as a content creator right now. The most important thing to do every day is to show up because you want to create something in the world and you want to see that through in the best way that you can do it. Period. End of story. If you keep doing that, you will be successful beyond your wildest dreams. That is why your stream has succeeded to the point that it has now. It is why it will succeed more in the future if you stay authentic to that.
Yeah, I just because I can't really handle like I have a lot of I have a just general social anxiety. So when it comes to like numbers or viewership or viewers and stuff like that, I can't. When I think of too much about that, it always kind of goes into a negative place. So like I just kind of go back and just tell myself to, if I just focus on making good stuff or making what I want to make, and just don't worry about anything else, it'll just work out.
That's your
Somehow.
totem. You know what that means?
Yeah.
It's an
Totem?
anchor. Yeah, it's like
Oh,
it's like a spiritual anchor. If you keep that mindset, you will always be okay. Because
Yeah.
broadcasting is one of the most neurotic jobs you can do. It's always gonna vie for you, and it's like you start to get into this place where you can't be certain that like people that you are talking to are doing so because of your viewership and your position, or if they're doing it because they
Yeah.
authentically like you. And it just becomes this like it becomes this like this is one of the reasons why like I have like an entire life outside of broadcasting, like friends, hobbies,
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I put much more value on those things than I do on broadcasting because I think that like where these broadcasters get stuck is it's like fuck man, if you're streaming like 16 hours a day or you know like realistically 16 hours is fucking crazy. So like, but like there's a lot of top broadcasters broadcasting like 9 to 10 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like what stories do you tell? What do you like? You are your stream. You're literally like synonymous with it.
Yeah.
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 And
Like,
at that point, like it's super super unhealthy and neurotic. You know what I mean?
yeah. It's like that's one problem with VTuber, like playing a character like Miko or whatever, is like at a certain point, because you're not living as Miko, right? Like if you're doing like a just chatting content, unless you have like something to go off of, like you have nothing to say because you don't live life in
Yeah.
her shoes, right? So yeah, I got stuck with a lot of that when before my interview content when I was playing as Miko, and then a lot of just me just had to go seek through into her. So like my like the stuff that happened in my real life I would tell as Miko because otherwise there's literally no stories to tell.
I love that. Yeah. And I think that's a really wise decision as to keeping like you to like the 4 to 5 hour mark so you have so much time to sort of
Yeah.
experience that and to live. I think it's really important.
Well, I don't have a life. If I'm not streaming, I'm dubbing. So, but I did just make a personal life because I just got a boyfriend, chat, and he's real. And so now I have a personal life.
Yeah, that's part of it, right? It's very, very good start. I think
I have
that develop
friends too.
you have
Okay, yeah.
friends? Okay, well then
I
yeah,
have
what are you
friends.
saying? You don't have a life. Like
No, I I just started having a life.
like
I started to like because before I wouldn't
how
really
recent is all this?
like a month ago. I started
Mm.
actually like taking more time for myself to do more things for me, basically.
Okay. What
Yeah.
but you've become like very successful on Twitch in the past 2 weeks. So in the fullness of time, like those are the same, right? They're both relatively recent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I think that having a life outside of this is good because like there is no end to like the clout chasing, fame, upward momentum type of thing. And another good thing that I've done too is like I set a goal. Keeping in mind again, like this is all in the context of this being part-time for me. So my goals would probably be a little bit different if it was a full-time thing. But part-time, I would really like to have 1,000 concurrent viewers. If I have that number, that's like super cool. When I was like a wee little Twitch streamer playing League of Legends, which is what I did back in 2012. This is before you were born. There was like my goal was like, oh my god, how cool would it be if I had 1,000 concurrent viewers? It's like so many people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same. That was like my dream was to have like 1,000
Was that your
concurrent.
number too?
Yeah, that was like my number. I
That's so
remember
cool.
the first time you found me and you showed me off on your stream,
Yeah,
and you said that I was gonna get to 1,000 concurrent
I did.
viewership soon.
When
Yeah.
you had 40 viewers, yeah.
Well,
Mhm.
I had around there, yeah.
Mhm.
And then I had that in the back of my mind, like always when I was doing my, trying to build my stream up.
Oh, that's
And
such
then,
good vibes.
well, it
Uh-oh.
came to so like, but then when I started like, so I had a jump in exposure,
Mhm.
like a small amount, like a small jump in exposure, and I went from like having like 100 viewers to like 400 viewers pretty fast. And you know how you say like it just when that happens, I got like 400 to 500, and then when that happens, you fall down back to your CCV,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then so like when I fell down back to my concurrent CCV, I was like, oh no, my content is bad. Everything sucks. Devin was wrong. I can't. I can't. And then I was like, oh no, if he ever comes across my stream, it's gonna be so disappointed. And
I like you
I
had this vision. I come back and I'm like, God, she didn't make it. Like everyone. God, what a loser. Yeah. No, I saw it. I saw it. I mean, like, okay.
had that in the back of my brain because I was like, oh, I failed him.
It is like when I say something like this, right? It sounds like really five head, but when you think about it in the context of like this is my entire job, right? All I do
Mhm.
is look at statistics in digital media and
Yeah.
understand trends, right? So like if I say like something like that was just blatantly obvious because I looked at the quality of your broadcast, the dedication you have, the passion you have, the type of person that you are. And this is before I
Mhm.
knew like I knew anything about like
Yeah.
who you were.
Yeah.
All I knew up until very recently was the avatar.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was like, that's it. This is gonna do it. Which is why I said that I feel like you have the ability to run that level of broadcast only as Miko if that's all you did.
Mhm.
But the hybrid thing works quite well for you, but you're not dependent on it.
Yeah.
And so I think that the moral of that thing, right, is that if your target is something realistic, like 1,000, like for me, right?
Mhm.
Well, then there have been
Yeah.
times like when Twitch DMCA issues got like really crazy. This is like a few weeks ago. I was like sitting at like 6,000 concurrent viewers,
Wow.
and then at one point I had close to 10, right? But
Mm.
my goal was still
Mhm.
1,000. So when I
Yeah.
dropped back down to whatever it is now, I don't know because I don't have I didn't do the data for the same reason why I don't look at view count. But I know it's lower, right? Because I can intuitively understand via how fast chat
Yeah.
moves. Um, I'm not bothered because
Yeah.
my goal was set at that, and I think what a lot of broadcasters do is they ramp up that goal. Like it's like okay, 1,000 was my dream. Well, I've got 1,000 now. Maybe like 1,500 to be cool, or 2,000. And now you're gonna reach a point where you are inevitably gonna like it's like getting promoted to your maximum level of incompetence. You're eventually gonna fail because
Yeah.
you're setting you keep setting your expectations. And then relative, like let's look at like the percentages, right? If you have 1,000 viewers and you grow to 2,000 viewers, you've literally done 100% growth. That's fucking
Yeah.
crazy,
Yeah.
right? In no other industry would you expect 200% growth in a few months or weeks, but yet on Twitch we expect that continuously.
Yeah. The thing about what you were saying about like how you try to up yourself in terms of like viewer count and stuff. I think that it's like thinking about that makes me so stressed out because
Yeah.
that's something that you just can't control. And so it's like so the only thing like I want to do is just make my like content better and like up my content and just not think about like numbers because that it's just you can't control that shit.
You want to
And
know
it's just
something I think that'll be
yeah.
encouraging too?
Hmm.
I also think that it is not that important of a metric. So this is like something that I have to quantify a little bit. I
Hmm.
used to think there's a couple of things to look at when you're looking at like the statistics of a Twitch channel to kind of like determine overall like how well it's doing. And you can look at like total watch hours, you can look at like the peak viewers, you can look at like the
Yeah.
number. Yeah. I actually think that concurrent viewers, and this is an opinion that's kind of changed over the past like 2 years. I think that concurrent viewers is probably the least valuable thing to actually look at.
Hmm.
If you are going to look at numbers, like with a caveat that I completely agree that the absolute most important thing is to show up every day because you want to create something. And you
Hmm.
don't ever have to look at numbers if that's your goal. I just think it's fun. so I do it. But if you are going to get stuck on a number, I think getting stuck on average viewers is not only toxic or like concurrent viewers, but also
Yeah.
not productive. The number that
Yeah.
I actually really like is followers gained. And I like this for a
Oh.
couple of reasons. Um, if you so I believe that attaching your goals to followers gained actually accentuates the idea of creating better content. But
Hmm.
attaching yourself to viewers does not, right? Like if you are like I need to do content to get more viewers, that's like and there's something inherently like inauthentic and toxic about that.
Yeah.
But if you say I want to do content because I want to see it in the world and I want people to like it,
Yeah.
that seems like a lot better, right?
Yeah. I actually do I like looking at unique chatters
Interesting.
a lot because it's like I want more like I put a lot more value on like engagement from my chat. So I like it when my chat is very active or because I'm trying to create more of an interactive stream. So when they participate in whatever like I'm doing, like when I'm like chat vote one or two, and they vote, or when they start spamming their emotes like they're doing now, um, it just it my chat my stream is like my chat is a huge part of my stream. I think like the content on my stream. So
Yeah.
I like to look at if I were to pick like numbers that I like to look at, it's definitely like unique chatters.
I like that. That's really cool. I think that's the same type of idea as
Mhm.
followers gain. Because to me,
Yeah.
someone clicking the follow button means, you know what? I like this. I'll check it out.
Mhm.
Maybe I'll check it
See,
out again.
see, for you, it's a little bit different because you're a dude, right? But
Oh,
for girls, it's a bit different because there's so many times when guys would just click follow because you're a hot girl and just leave. It's like they just collect them.
that's really annoying. Is that
Yeah,
really?
yeah. So it's like for girl broadcasters, I think the follower gain is like a lot less important.
Interesting. The reason why I wouldn't have initially thought that is because that's not distributed in the stats. Men get more followers than women overall.
Really?
When controlled for a number
Oh,
of because first of all, if we're gonna do any stats, male versus female, we have to control for numbers because there's for every one female stream, there's 14 male streamers.
got
So if we control across those numbers and then we distribute it across the top 40,000 partners, Absolutely,
Mm.
men get way more follows, way more. Yeah.
Isn't it the ratio of followers to viewership though? Because I I I feel like I see this a lot in Instagram too, where like guys will follow like 8,000 girls, like 8,000 hot girls.
Yeah. Can I tell you why this is the case?
Mm.
This is a this is a I don't know what the psychological term for it is escaping me. But I'll give you like the example of how it works. If we see Pokimane getting
Mhm.
$1,000 donation, okay,
Mm.
what happens is the stereotype of, well, of course, fucking Oilers giving women money again.
Yeah,
There it is. That gets
yeah,
reinforced, and then
yeah,
everybody then buys into that idea. Meanwhile, XQC and Dr. Disrespect are fucking dicking
yeah,
down $1,000 donations, and nobody thinks a thing.
yeah,
What happened? Like, so this is why we have empirical data, right? Is like we like there's a lot of societal bias on something, and like we think something is the case. It can be so evident anecdotally. It can be
yeah,
so like, oh my god, this has to be true. Females get like more
yeah,
followers,
yeah, yeah,
but when you actually parse it out, when you actually stat it out, it's like it's not even like a debate. It's not even close.
yeah.
Yeah, males are so much more prone to it is just categorically more difficult on
That's so
every
interesting.
level to be a female streamer. And it's a
Mhm,
fundamental problem of our industry, and it's
mhm.
exacerbated by this mindset that like females have it easy.
But don't you think like the females, like the followers gain from girls, like because I feel like there's a lot of dudes that would just follow a hot girl just because she's hot, but not go back to her channel,
Yeah, so
But
if
then
anything, um that makes it more difficult to be you.
no, yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
that's so
because
for
I don't
but
disagree with that. I'm just saying as a distribution, it's still not
oh
great. So
yeah,
like if we take you against like Shroud or someone, I mean it would be more appropriate to compare you to a broadcaster of like size. But I'm just like doing this for the sake
yeah,
of it.
yeah, yeah,
And someone clicks the follow button because it's like, oh, good gamer, great FPS
yeah,
player, want to watch him
yeah,
play games again, right?
mhm,
Versus like, oh, hot Asian girl,
yeah, yeah,
and then they don't come back,
yeah,
or what? Like, yeah, that's yet another negative for
yeah,
being a female broadcaster. Yeah.
yeah.
Do you feel like putting yourself on screen like this is are you resistant to that? This is just a curiosity as a result of this
Oh,
kind of you don't
I don't
care.
really care. No, no. I think
Hmm.
like I think there's like a way. So I think it's really important for me to do Miko streams always and do it first
Hmm.
and then do technician streams after because when I used to do it like oh here's technician stream randomly and then here's Miko stream like people started to Miko started feeling less immersive
Ooh.
and
Okay.
yeah and then so structuring it like Miko comes first and then later you get behind the scenes with technician it worked better because then it's like you watch the movie okay and then you get to see like behind the scenes of it,
Mhm.
right? And if you when I didn't do that, it would be like, oh, where's I want to see technician. Why is Miko here?
Mhm.
And Miko's stream would actually suffer because like they felt like they had more connections with a real person. And
Mm.
yeah, and then so now I basically just do Miko stream first, and then technician stream comes after, and it's either hangout or I show tech things. But yeah, it's that has that I learned I definitely think that that's important to separate me from Miko a bit like that.
How do you balance that?
Um well I stream more as Miko than like I would myself.
Are you gonna keep doing that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because
Mhm.
it has to be her stream. Otherwise, like if people get too used to me, then all of my dev and my concept and vision is like less strong, right?
Yeah, so this is one of those things that like your community will disagree with, but I completely and 100% agree with.
Yeah.
This vision, like your community will be like, no, no, like we like seeing you, like this is like it's really good. But
Yeah.
in the context of the greater vision and brand that you're building, this is 100% true, and
Yeah.
you should stay to that. Yeah, that's good. You okay?
Yeah,
You
it's
dying?
just not COVID.
Mhm. instantly, like just like
Yeah,
right
and
away.
it's
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
I just got like a little dust in my throat, I think. Um, but yeah, I think it's and it made me happy to see like because before when I brought up technician, like whenever I would come on, my viewership would shoot up, and that always
Yep.
kind of made me a little upset
Good.
because
God, it's so good. God, you think so well about this. Yeah, good. Mhm.
and
No, it's
then
just because
like
usually I have to do so much more work to like get people in the right mindset, but you're already there. Yes,
yeah,
it's really good. Mhm.
and then now it's the opposite. Miko has higher viewership, and when I come on, the viewership drops.
Yeah, and that's
Unless I'm doing tech talk, which then makes sense because I'm showing off stuff. Um, does that make sense? You look a
it.
little confused.
No,
Like,
no, I'm not. It makes.
okay,
I'm
yeah,
so vibing right now. I totally
okay,
understand.
okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Y-
and then my viewership is lower than Miko, and that makes me happy because that's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, like if 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 you get higher viewership as the technician, you know it's cheapening the deal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I
100%.
totally vibe with that super hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it is definitely like I am it's so much more comfortable like streaming like this and like just doing like low effort content. Like it's so much easier and so
Yeah.
much more comfortable than wearing a full on mocap suit. Like the helmet is so uncomfortable that I'm literally growing a head lump here somewhere.
Wait, really?
Yeah, yeah, it's so painful. And like
Hmm.
and it's a lot of weight as well. So you have like 2 pounds on your head and you're fully suited up, and I always get like you can't see enough, but I get like bruises on my legs. Oh, let me see if they're gone. Um, they're a lot better now, but I had to rewire my mocap suit, but I used to get these tiny little bruises all over my legs
On
because
your knees? Is that one of them?
yeah, on my knees, on my like just in my spots like everywhere because the mocaps that I'll show you has these things inside. They've got they got these things inside, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't wire them correctly, like they'll like press on your skin. And by default, they still press on your skin, but like they'll really press on your skin and you'll get like bruises. So it's comfortable, but it's definitely not that comfortable, you know? So it's like if I had to choose in terms of my comfort, I'd rather, do this and just
Yeah,
do
of
low
course.
effort, but that's not what I want to
It's not what you're
build.
trying to
So
create.
no, no.
It's the same for me as like I always think that I could just come on and like watch YouTube videos and like rather than so I like I think you've been to the YouTube, right?
I've been to YouTube. What?
My
What
YouTube.
do you mean? Oh,
Yeah.
I've been to it.
Okay, that means
I
no.
have
Okay,
a
so my
lot.
YouTube is like a my YouTube is like an industry centric YouTube.
Yeah,
It covers a lot of like really deep like gaming industry slash like digital media marketing type stuff. And
yeah.
it's really easy for me to like come on, watch videos, chill and commentate. But like
Mm-hmm.
versus like putting a talk together, preparing it, getting research together, getting the data, and then presenting a case for something. Right. Like I did a really big one on why you should never become a Twitch affiliate. Just period. Like it's just a terrible idea.
Oh, I think I actually saw that
Mhm.
one. It was a long time ago, right?
No, it's just recent. It's just doing. It might have.
Oh,
It's this and that like video took a lot of like work to do.
then I think I was watching something else that said something along those lines.
Wait, what?
And there was another video talking about that, but that was I watched a long time ago. I thought it might have been you. I guess it
Possibly.
wasn't.
I've been doing YouTube seriously for about a year, but like the point was that it is much easier
Mm-hmm.
to do like non-curated like we can call it lazy type of content. And this style of like what you're doing, which is like preparing your shows and
Mm-hmm.
like really like putting in the effort,
Yeah.
it is the right decision. And the streamer I think of, I don't know if you're familiar with him, Ludwig.
Yes.
Uh-oh. What was that voice?
What?
You said like you're exasperated. Yes. What does that mean? Or
Oh,
am I
he's
just
cute.
he's what?
He's cute.
He's so hot.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's cute.
If I had that hair, it'd be over. Okay, I'm just okay. But yeah. Beyond being cute, right? He's
Yeah,
also very successful, and that's
yeah,
because he is not lazy. He
yeah,
creates content with the end in mind. He prepares it, and he streams about 5 to 6 hours a day maximum.
yeah,
And the rest of
yeah,
the time, he is thinking about what will work. So,
yeah,
like, that's why, like, something like if you just go on and say, "Hey, I'm like reacting to YouTube videos," versus, "Okay, streamers I can beat in a fight." Tier list, right? Like amazing. There's so many videos like that come out from Ludwig that are like, oh my god, that's it. Like this is such a good idea, and you can tell that he
yeah,
puts it into it. So the intuitive desire to like the I think where so many people, this is such an important concept, where so many people get caught up in streaming is it's so fucking easy to turn on OBS, start playing games,
yeah,
start watching YouTube or whatever, and like and it's so like especially if you're like a larger creator, just clicking that button and going onto it. Like, but if you actually sit back and prepare it, like I've seen you do, like, oh, I've got like this new tech to feature, or here's me walking around my place that you've designed somehow,
mm,
like,
mm,
and like that is so much more meaningful, even though the cost on you is greater.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and it fascinates me how you've come to these conclusions without any help. It feels like. So, I don't know, interview is such a weird word 'cause it's not really an interview, it's like a discussion, but, like, I've talked to so many creators, big and
Mhm.
small. The
Yeah,
number of people that understand what you're talking about is, like, so small. I have to do so much work to get them to that point. I
interesting.
really, really, really think okay, there's another thing you said that fucking was, like, crazy. Um because I asked you a question that I ask a lot of people, and it was
Uh-huh.
like, um, what have you done to kind of like make this personality to like be this kind of like person and like be like on screen? And you're like, oh, nothing, I'm just me, which is like the typical bullshit answer. Then you said
Yeah,
something you didn't realize, which is I watch my VODs and I check what I do and then I go back and I think about it. There it is.
yeah,
That's exactly the same as NFL players that look at their tape and figure out how to improve the play in their games. And it actually turns out that concept is one of the number one things I can teach content creators to do. Go back through your VODs and become a streamer that you want to watch,
yeah,
right? Because if
yeah,
you don't want like how many content creators have you run into like the smaller streamers come into my chat all the time and they're like, "Oh, I hate watching myself." Well, bitch, if you hate watching yourself, fucking
yeah,
everyone's going to hate watching you.
yeah. I basically
Yeah.
how I rate my content is that if I can't watch it, then I'm not doing a good
Bam.
job.
Yeah, that's it. That's it,
Yeah,
right?
because I can't even really watch Twitch.
Yeah, I
Like,
can't either. Most of this
yeah,
platform I can't stand, yeah.
yeah, I know. So I'm like, how can I make this into more like a TV show where like everybody can watch and come and like Game of Thrones, right?
Mhm,
Everybody knows that it's gonna air at a certain time and literally everybody comes and watches it,
mhm.
right? So it's like, how can I make content where people are going to want to are going to wait to tune in to watch, you know? And if I can't feel that way about my own content, then like how am I gonna expect other people to feel like that about my content? So I'm vibing. I get you, Mr. Nash. I get you.
What I really wanna know is how you
Mhm.
built that mindset without any help, because you don't see it as rare because it's you. It's
Uh-huh.
happening to you, but if you could step outside of yourself and be like, "Shit, why do I think that way?" What would you say?
Well, I just don't understand how people can't think of it like that because you're basically trying to entertain people. That's like your goal, right?
Mhm.
So if you're not entertaining people, then like what's the whole point of broadcasting? If you're like, I don't like it doesn't make sense. Like it
I
seems like more common sense to me.
I don't think that people make the one-to-one distinction that putting on
Mhm.
a show is going to make them popular or going to make them entertaining. I think so if we go into the directory
Yeah,
right now
yeah.
and we go look at like a popular game category
Huh?
and we go see all of the people in like the cyberpunk, we'll just go to the cyberpunk directory right now, sort high to low. And if I scroll, I'll just describe what's happening long enough, right? I'm going to hit like 30, 40 viewer streams, right?
Mhm.
And the vast majority of these people are doing exactly the same thing. They are
Yeah.
playing a game with a webcam with commentary.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and this is right now in the cyberpunk category, there's about 300,000 broadcasters.
Yeah.
So it is not common sense, right?
Yeah.
Because none of these
that
people are putting on a show.
yeah, that's where I just don't get it. Like I mean, that's why that's like I don't understand how they could think.
I don't understand it either. That's why I ask everybody this question. Because and so like if I run into a you, I need to know what
Mhm.
created you. I need to know like because I also don't understand it. And
I think maybe they
yeah.
think they just look at a big streamer and then they're like, oh, see, he just talks and plays games. Why don't I just talk and play games? Like maybe they think that everything is just luck or something, and they just think like, oh, I don't have to try because it's just gonna be luck. So I'll just put my hours in and see if luck hits me. Maybe that's why. But I don't really believe in luck. Like I believe that you have to, like, you can get lucky, I guess, but I don't know, like for example, you can position yourself so that people can see you.
I don't think that luck exists. And this
Yeah,
is
I don't really think so
yeah.
either.
I was on I remember, I'll never forget this. I was on an esports podcast. This was back when I was running CLG. And I got just I have never seen people more butt mad. Because the podcast host, like I got so many like die in a fire type tweets, things like that. The person asked me, what is something that you like believe about this industry that is controversial? And I straight up, without a pause, I said talent doesn't exist. Like luck doesn't exist.
I agree. I agree. Like I do think that there's some things that can, when it comes to talent, I do think there's some things that can factor in. Like mentally, I think. But I don't know. It's like there's environmental factors and all that stuff. So I don't really believe in it, right? So when it comes to like,
Can we draw an analogy? Because I think we can draw a.
huh?
Can we draw an analogy? Like I can draw an analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. When you got raided by Hassan,
Yeah.
you could interpret that as lucky because you didn't like that. That's just Hassan browsing LSF and deciding to raid you because he saw your clips and he liked it. So a lot of people say, well, that's lucky you got raided by Hassan. But that's surface level. What actually happened was you created content that was unique enough, that that stood out enough that you can't dictate the event itself, but you can set up the dominoes to create a forced culture so that luck is basically inevitable.
Yeah. That's what I believe in. That's like,
Same.
100%.
So it might not have been Hassan. It might have been Ludwig. It might have been Pokemon. It might have been something totally different. You might have been mentioned in a YouTube video. There's a million different things it could have been. But it is going to happen because of the investment that you put in to the quality of your broadcast. So invariably it gets discovered because it has to. It has to. Right.
Yeah. It's like a mixture of like quality and then actually, well, quality is like the whole package, right? When you say quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, because so I was thinking about some other types of streamers or content where they the thing is like people can do like my tech, like people can do things that I do and even make it better, right?
Possibly.
I mean, I believe people can.
I mean, like can in the sense that they're capable of doing it. Yes.
Yeah.
Like in theory, there's someone that can do business industry stuff on Twitch better than me, but for a lot of reasons, there never will be.
right,
Yeah.
but even if they do that and do, like, have a better quality than I do in terms of tech, at the end of the day, I'm still not trying to build a tech demo for my stream.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, I still wanna like, I honestly, even if my stuff looked like trash, but, because it does look like trash, I realized that, like, it's more of the entertainment quality that I can bring to my stream rather than like the actual like the heart of it. I don't know if I'm going off on a tangent because
No,
of my
you're not.
ADHD. It's like the heart of the stream is more important than like the technical stuff, I guess. Like the quality of your, I don't know, your entertaining
Yeah, you
part.
have so many values that you, I think, hold to that I think, bless you, make it a very authentic. And I think you should keep to that.
Yeah.
It's really good. Okay, do you want to do some actual brand building stuff? We can talk about that. How are you feeling right now?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm
Okay,
ready.
good.
Let's
Okay.
go.
I am gonna get some more hot tea because
Okay.
I'm out of it, and then I will be right back, and then we'll do that because we'll jump
Okay.
into the like real meaty stuff. Hey,
So confused. Hi.
I want to say before we continue this,
Uh-huh.
I've really immensely enjoyed this talk so far.
Oh, I'm glad.
I feel
I'm
like I can relate to you better than
uh-huh.
almost anyone I've ever met on this platform.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's a little bit scary, actually. You think exactly in the same way that I do about content creation and about brand building. And for that reason, it is an absolute joy to speak to you, like legitimately. There are a huge amount of things that I want to go over, um, but I want to do it with the caveat that all of this is future proofing. And at the moment, you need to think about what we've talked about in the past, which is
Okay.
the idea that you just need to keep up with your content right now, and you need to keep your stream consistent for the next 4 weeks, 5 weeks, as you kind of grow into this um, maximum saturation that you're going to get on Twitch. The most productive thing you can do right now is consistently stream on Twitch. That's it.
Can I take 1 day off out of the week?
You can take 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna take 1 day off out of the week for the next 4 or 5 weeks
I think
and
you
then go up to 2
you can and you
later.
should. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, good. Good, good.
Yeah.
Yep. I think that's right. And I think that I take 2 days off a week and it's fine. Again, think less about quantity and more about like the quality of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um but that said, here comes like the other like big stuff, and this is where I think I'm going to start like actually providing real value instead of like you need to think holistically about where your brand should live.
Mhm.
And that's an actual question you can ask yourself. And like, I think one of the things that you can do to become more successful in general is always ask yourself higher quality questions. And a high quality question is something like, where should my brand live? And if you start to ask that question, I think whether it is sooner or later, you will come up with the answer that Twitch is not the place to do that long term.
Mhm. Mhm.
And you'll come up with that answer because that answer is right. So why not? Because Twitch is a platform for live content that exists in the moment and is not discovered well beyond that. If you think about the way that your stream has been found, it has been through third party stuff, Reddit, other communities, collaborations. Very little, if any, of your success is because Twitch itself propped you up and found and you were discovered via the platform. The
Yeah.
platform provides a what's called a CDN, which is a content delivery network. So it makes it possible for you to have your stream here. But beyond that, they don't do anything for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you understand that, then we're going to start to look at your stats, and we're going to start to pull up some things. And I want to start thinking about after this sort of period of saturation, like ends, this
Mhm.
is when we meet up again and start thinking about this. Now, again, you're gonna feel a little bit overwhelmed because I'm gonna start talking some mad crazy stuff. But
Okay.
all this is in notes. It's all gonna be sent to you. You will have everything. And I don't disappear after this and like become a stone gargoyle. I'll still be here if you need anything. And I'm sure we'll just still
Okay.
talk because
Yeah.
it's just cool. Okay. Um, let's start with where I think the brand lives long term. Okay. There are a few choices. Right now, you're kind of like tripling and quad. First of all, does all this make sense? Did everything I just say?
Yeah.
Is it
Mhm.
helpful?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, I think that the two places that you are doubling down right now are Twitch and Twitter.
Yeah.
And your YouTube is abysmal. It's
I know.
awful. And you should be very sad.
I know.
Okay. So um there is a incredible potential that you need to start thinking about, I think, like really soon. At the very least, and this is going to come down, I know where this is going to lead. It's going to come down to, well, I need team members, I need help. And don't worry, I've got all that prepared. So, the idea of where Miko should live, being that your goal, you told me, was to eventually integrate this character into things like movies or video games or interactive experiences.
Yeah.
You cannot live on Twitch and accomplish that
Yeah.
because no brand will have a place to place you, right? They
Yeah.
will. When they think Miko, they'll only think it in the context of the live show. And so, if you were going to show some marketing executive like a deck of what you do, they will not be able to identify with that because they will not have the ability to like identify. A lot of people think that people in marketing people that make like relevant brand decisions to do things like put you on TV or something, they just don't understand Twitch. That's not true. They understand it fine. Everyone we understand, but the idea of, okay, the first thing I'm going to ask as a marketing or brand building person,
Yeah.
which I know because I am that, is okay, great. So there's a question in my chat right now. This directly is this analogy. Wait, didn't Ninja go on Ellen TV last year? Yeah. Want to know how many subscribers that Ninja has on YouTube? Oh, it's 24 fucking million people. What a fucking crazy concept. It's almost as if he built a brand somewhere else. See, this is why people don't like me. It's like, but you see what I mean? Like, okay, so the idea is when somebody comes to you and they say, "What is Miko?" and you answer, "Well, it's a live show on Twitch that I broadcast every 4 hours, 6 days a week." They're going to be like, "Well, what?" Like,
Yeah.
show me, right? Whereas if you have like a video or a series of videos or like a series of content and you're like, "What is Miko?" A lot of the content you're creating is stuff that actually transfers almost one-to-one to YouTube. For example, when you did your show where you got Miko out of the chair and she ran into the like apartment complex, that's like an event. That's VOD content. That's like timeless, like epic type of stuff. And I'm going to link you something that is really important. It's the 5 types of content that do really well on YouTube and that kind of like you can sort of think about as to like how to start transferring this. So for your YouTube, your objective is to make this channel successful with the least amount of personal work possible.
Mm.
Do you understand why?
Well, I know that like it's just important to get used to being able to multiply your time by
Yes.
hiring other people, and yeah, it's just multiply your time.
It's
It's just
because
important.
you right now need
Mhm.
to focus 100% on building Miko,
Yeah.
making her being a show, and you have a lot of mental energy that's going to be devoted to like being an actress, making
Yeah.
that show more realistic. Therefore, the work that you put into diversifying on other platforms should largely be delegated
Yeah.
because at when we were the easiest analogy here is esports players. Okay, so I ran 2 esports teams, and on both teams we had a similar goal, which was like, okay, let's think about our players. What should our players be doing most of the time?
Gaming,
Gaming to what end?
practicing
Practicing.
to win.
Yeah. So if we have our players worrying about a bunch of other shit, they are worse gamers by virtue of that. So
Yeah.
for that reason, we should delegate everything else that is possible. We should have a chef cook their food. We should have a physical trainer that makes it as easy as possible to get like into your physical mindset. Everything should be set up to kind of create this environment where they can make the thing that they do, and
Mhm.
to the least extent possible, they divert from that. And in the same way, if you were to set up your life as a content creator, you would want to diversify out and delegate out every single thing that doesn't get you to your goal. So
Yeah.
we've constructed this list on the basis of that. Okay. That every single one of these besides one can be completely delegated. I'm going to show you how, like, tell you the process. Okay.
Okay.
But we got to go through them real quick. So the first one is long form stream content. All of your interviews, full stop, should be on YouTube. Right. That's just it. That's timeless content. It doesn't go away. That's as simple as cutting the VOD and putting it up. But again, you should not cut that VOD. You should not put it up. To do so
Yeah.
is a waste of your time.
Yeah.
I think you
Yeah.
understand that intuitively.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't. Again, I'm normally used to. It's very weird to go through this conversation because normally I have to do a lot of education. With
Mhm.
you, you just get it.
Yeah, I've been trying to find. I've been asking my community to do it for me.
I'm gonna completely tell you how to do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So, the second thing is highlight clips. So this is as simple as taking a amalgamation of your top clips, things that got over 5,000 views, putting
Mhm.
them together, and then putting them on YouTube, and then saying Miko's highlights, right? Or like, obviously, we're gonna title it way better than that because that's like a
Yeah.
dog shit
Yeah.
title.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, good. Okay, so that's highlight content. Third one is historic content. This is the one that is the most underestimated by Twitch streamers. They don't realize this, but you can pull up historic content, which means things that have happened before, and you can make it into current content. So, for example, like if I did an interview with like Moist Critical, and I wanted to go back to that VOD, we had like a 7-hour talk about like YouTube and shit. And I wanted to go back into that VOD. There's tons of stuff there that I could just put up on YouTube today that would do well. Because
Yeah.
to whatever audience consumes it, it's new, right? So historic content and starting to think about that is really interesting. So things like how did you the very first times you're running Miko around, right? To your
First time.
like the first time the alpha Miko. I know you kind of still consider it an alpha because you're a developer, but like the alpha, the first
Oh
day.
yeah. Yeah.
Is that making sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Any questions or comments so far?
No. I'm just listening. I'm
Good.
soaking.
Yeah. Good. Okay. Epic content is the only one that I would say you want to avoid. For now,
Okay.
because epic content is like Mark Rober shit. I put it on this list so that the list is inclusive.
Mhm.
Like epic content means that you go out to make an unbelievable like experience, and it's like just this fucking cornerstone, smarter every day. Mark Rober are these kind of people. They make like a video a month. Kurt Sagat's CGP Grey, right? And it's like this highly animated experience. Okay. My point in you not doing epic content is relevant because you can actually kind of accomplish that same feel as like a very highly prepared thing because you've already put in the work on the back end. So to the
see.
YouTube audience, it actually appears that you've put in that time, even though you're really just kind of captured it from your stream. Does that make sense?
see. Yeah.
This is a huge benefit that you really don't want to ignore. Okay. So but along the same lines of, remember, like, keep everything with our goal in mind, which is we want to have you focus on creating the stuff that you do as much as possible. if you were to divert 30 to 50 hours per video to like making YouTube content, you're completely out. Yeah, and you also can't delegate this easily. You kind of have to do it. So for that reason, like this one should not be as important to you. Okay. Lastly is meta React's content. This is the kind of stuff that's like Miko reacting to other VTubers, reacting to things that happen within your relevant industry. This is something that as of yet you don't really take advantage of live and that you could think more about.
I'm a bad reactor.
Yeah, but you're isn't this part of your evolution as an actress? You're
That's
like,
true.
yeah. So you want to
That's
incorporate
true.
this.
My thing is like S tier React content is like I actually shit myself on stream, you know, or like I vomit on stream.
That is
That's
that
like the top tier React.
uh
Cause think about it, like the
where do you want me to
Pogu
go with
face.
this? If you take a dump on stream,
No, no, no,
I
no,
think
no,
like
no. I'm just saying, like, if we're talking about the art of React content, right? You have like it goes in stages, you know. You got like, and then you got the ooh, and then you got the laughter, you know, and then like if we go to like the top tiers of reactions, you know, it's like shitting yourself, vomiting, or dying.
yeah, but you don't need to die.
I'm
or
just
shit.
thinking about it. I'm
Oh,
thinking
okay.
about it as like.
Well, you understand this intuitively in the way that you code Miko. That's why you had like the fart explosion for bits. Like you've done this. Like you understand. Like we can put like from levels like 1 to 10. Like level 1 is like, oh, that's cool. Level 10 is like I shit myself and explode.
Yeah. And the React content.
And I'm saying just like think about the concept as a macro idea of like because again, like I think that one of our challenges is going to be sort of overcoming this reliance on interviews.
Yeah.
And thinking about content in these ways is some ways that you could do that. Okay. So those
I
are
want to create a game show after the interviews. Though. After the interviews, I want to do like a game show with like I want to bring like streamers on and have them compete each other. Have you seen like Jimmy Kimmel like do game shows with like celebrities? I wanna do that. I wanna make that because I have this robot character in mind where the screen would be like the streamers. You know how like I have like the computer and you can see the streamer's webcam through the computer, right? So I'm gonna have like a robot with like a screen on it, and then the streamer will have their face on the robot, and then like Hasanabi versus Villeneuve wrestling.
Yeah, that would be unbelievably top tier.
Yeah, that's what I want to make after the interview.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's still like a show, right? Like so that's like a segment.
Yeah,
I love this, by the way. Like I want to reinforce again because I've said this a million times, but this thinking is right. Like thinking about how to run a show that's like quality like that. That is where you want to be. It's hard to do that in the context of 6 streams, 5 hours a week a day.
I know.
Yeah. So it can be done, but I think like and one of the things that I don't know like how much you've done this, but like one of the things that I really love to do is I like to look at people that I want to be more like. And so I look at like Ludwig for this, right? Where it's like I think that like Ludwig is like, okay, this is a dude that has about that kind of schedule, but for the most part puts on like pretty quality content. And the way that I think he balances that is he has stuff that this is when I said like low effort content. It's a little bit more low effort at times. And then you've got your like kind of main event.
Yeah.
So thinking about how that shakes out is really good.
I'm thinking of just hiring like devs somehow. Like I'm thinking of like trying to get some grants. Like Epic has this grant program going on, and maybe from there like get money to hire like another dev. I do have one other dev that is coming on, so I'm hoping that like if I have a team of like a small team of devs that can help me with like create content for my stream, then I could maybe keep up having like high quality content instead of falling back.
Yeah. You could delegate that way. If you stay consistent with what you're doing over the next 3 weeks,
Mhm.
money won't be a problem for you. You'll be able to hire out whoever you want by
Mm.
virtue of what your stream will do.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be a foregone conclusion. You will see. You may not believe it now,
Oh,
but
okay.
so there's other things we're going to talk about that will make that better too. Okay, so your YouTube is like the place to start. Now, I think, do
Mm.
you want to digress right now into how to build this team? Because I think that maybe is like one of the most important things we're going to talk about.
Right now, I actually want to hear about the YouTube because I've been wanting to change up my YouTube for like the longest time.
Okay, so the 5 ways that I listed here
Mhm.
are going to be like frankly, right now, you can basically 1-to-1 almost every single show that you do. And as long as it's titled correctly and thumbnailed correctly, you can just almost like post that over to YouTube. So what I'm suggesting is that you take the vast majority of the content you already create and you put it up.
Okay.
And that's why I'm saying, but you package it in such a way that it meets one of these 5 guidelines. So most of your content right now would be classified as number 1, long form content, either talk or collab. And I would say in the same way that you actually think about your Twitch titles, because I've looked a lot of them in the past. I'm just pulling it up right now. Oh God, this Twitch's interface. I'm almost yeah.
Oh, I change my titles throughout my stream, but it doesn't show up in the VOD.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I'm just gonna go off these titles now because
Yeah.
I have that's what I have. I'm almost
Yeah.
at 50K. Pog is like, that title is like Codemiko hits 50,000 followers.
Okay.
All the interview content can just be like you could do something like when you're first getting discovered, though. I actually think you could just say Miko just because you're already like building up. You're lucky enough that like you might have to say so just for the thought exercise, if you were still like 40 viewer Andy, you might need to do like virtual VTuber interview Skara.
Yeah.
Right, and that would be like, but I think you can actually get away with saying Codemiko interview Skara on YouTube
Okay.
now, and then that's your title.
Okay.
So for interviews, I think I would go with that. Going to look at other things. So technician, is that you? I look very different. Secret stream. This kind of stream is like meet the technician behind Codemiko type of thing, right?
Yeah.
Now here's the real value. Okay, so this title, only farts, your virtual fart simulator. This is like this title. This is like would do God tier on YouTube.
Okay.
Every time a viewer donates, my avatar farts heavier or something like that, right? Just like some kind of like, you see where I'm going with that?
Mhm.
And like that is your title. Every time a viewer donates, or it could be something like I get $1,000 in donations for farting. Like even that is like fucking insanely busted title, right? So like, do you see what I mean by like,
Yeah.
if you just change the messaging, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden it becomes relevant to YouTube. The same content, and you don't have to do any extra work. And that's like a 200,000, 300,000 view video right there. Like no problem.
Wow.
By changing that messaging. Like yeah. So changing messaging of existing content and putting it up onto YouTube is the first thing that I think, and the easiest thing I think you can do 1-to-1 that would literally double, triple, quadruple your brand in the next very short period of time.
Wow. Okay.
You have to remember that for every 1 user on Twitch, there's 200 of the same on YouTube. It is just not comparable as a platform for discovery. YouTube is so vastly superior for brand building on so many levels, the likes of which would take me a very boring amount of time to explain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So like packaging this content in a way that's accessible to is like in that way. It like, oh, so I'm pure, I'm a virgin, hell yeah. Okay. So like that kind of title is like, and again, I'd have to like I think about like titles for like 2 hours before I post stuff. But like I'm just like thinking off the top of my head right now, so it's like gonna be bad. But it's like my avatar loses her virginity. Or like Codemiko loses her virginity. Right? That title is like top tier. Because people will be like, "What the fuck?" And then it's like a thumbnail, like the thumbnail that you have, like these thumbnails that like really feature the avatar. I think these are the ones you want to go with on YouTube as well. Where it's like, so God, I would like a thumbnail that would do amazing on YouTube is like one that's like slightly bigger than this one I'm looking at right now. I'll screenshot it for you. Which is like the only farts one. Just make her bigger, make the green fart behind her, and then like the boobs with the words on it. This is gonna kill on YouTube. Because they see like virtual avatar, like weird writing on the boobs, shit's going on, like what the fuck is going on? Click on it. And what you have is you have your team sort of distill the content down to its core. Like it becomes like a 10 to 20 minute video.
Jorm, take notes, by the way.
Who?
Jorm's my personal bond servant. Jorm, make sure you're taking notes.
My breasts grow every time I get a donation. This is a 500K YouTube video.
What?
Straight up.
Wait, say it again?
My breasts grow every time I get a donation on Twitch.
Oh, I had something like that before.
On Twitch, but on YouTube. This is like remember me when you're famous shit. This is like 500K, 1 million view type shit.
Wow.
It's going to be insane. Take better notes in this later, chat. Don't judge me. Every time Twitch chat donates, my butt grows. God, these are just ridiculously good. And then what you do is you take that content, you take the core of it, and then you put it into like a 20-minute, 15 to 20-minute video. Does that make sense? Or 10 to 15 minutes.
Have you seen the image of when Twitch chat donated to make me into a penis?
Can I see this image? Because like, is this like an image that doesn't get me instantaneously banned?
I'll show you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a 20 out of 20 thumbnail. This is a million view YouTube video. You could literally put this thumbnail up and just literally make the title boobs and it'd be a million views.
I want to show my chat. Really?
Yeah, really.
Is that simple?
It really is. For what you do, yeah. The YouTube is the easiest vertical and the least amount of effort to grow right now. Mm-hmm. Like going from 1 to 100,000 subscribers in I think under a month is incredibly realistic. Probably far greater than that.
For me?
Easily, without a doubt. Maybe 10 to 20 videos in this line of thinking gets you there.
Pagu.
No question. Mm-hmm.
Pagu.
You can look across to like content. Like, have you ever looked at like 39 Daff on YouTube?
I have not.
So she's like an interesting use case. She posts a lot of like this kind of meme content. So like, for example, this one that has 1 million views, which just says click this video, and it's a picture of this. Okay. And so I want you to like think about like Doggy Woggy is like, this is like a 530K view video with like a picture of like Daff reacting to a dog with a cigarette. So this is the kind of like Zoomer brain shit you're going for. Okay. Like, except with Miko.
Yeah.
But these kind of titles and this kind of theme work really, really well. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Zoomer.
It's because you're putting a lot of the prep on the back end already. You're developing. And then that content goes to YouTube. So you've already put a lot of the work in. So from at that point, it becomes a marketing problem.
I see.
Yeah. And I think thinking about this channel is good for you. It's a very good learning lesson. But yeah, so like I'm vastly undershooting the 100K number. Like I think it's far greater. Like your brand on YouTube will become bigger than your Twitch brand, like so fast if you do this.
Okay.
Yeah, like when I say building a brand, the number one vertical you have is YouTube. Like the end, full stop. That's it. And if you start doing stuff in this way that we're talking about, it is going to be insane. Like so insane that I will call your secretary's PA to get a hold of you to tell you congratulations. Like this is an incredible vertical for you. Okay, and like you need to think about this like above all else, above Instagram, above Twitter, above LinkedIn, above TikTok, all that shit.
Okay.
Okay. So LinkedIn is great, man. Don't diss LinkedIn. It's professionals, okay?
It's true. I got rid of my LinkedIn because
Because you hate the corporate world. Oh, because why?
people from my stream started messaging me on LinkedIn.
And you tell me that you're not worried about personal information on stream.
No, I am worried about it. I'm just really bad at protecting it.
Yeah, you got to get better at that.
Yeah.
Imagine using your real name to stream. What kind of idiot would do that?
Well, everybody knows my real name now because I leaked it all. Oh, Devin Nash. Wait, I just got the. Oh.
Only an idiot would do that.
Is Devin Nash your real name though?
Do you think so? Maybe it's like my stage name, my stripper name.
I don't think it's your real name. It's your stripper name.
You think it's a fake name?
Yeah.
What do you think my real name is? Am I more of like a John to you? A Jesse? A Brandon? Brought it back.
Bob.
Bob?
Bob. Just most generic.
Wow,
Wait,
she's getting back at me because of the Brandon comment. Oh, you're just the most generic, boring name.
I will say, no, you look like a Devin.
Yeah, I think so too. I
Yeah.
take a lot of pride in having a unique name. Relatively unique.
Devin?
Yeah, Devin's a relatively unique name.
Oh, is it?
It's not something that you encounter. It's not like James or like imagine all the people in chat named James. Get fucked, James.
James.
Yeah, like it's not
James
like it's not like Brandon. I can't stop doing it. Oh my god, it's so good.
Brandon's a great name.
What is?
Brandon's a great name.
Yeah.
Brandon.
Devin is Celtic for poet, which I used to think was really lame. Because my brother's name is Gaelic for warrior. And that sounds fucking badass. I was like, why can't I be warrior?
Yeah.
But then later I decided that poet was cooler because I tell stories.
Oh, yeah, it's fitting.
The pen is my sword. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is fitting.
So I love Devin, and I like the name Nash too. If you're gonna brand yourself by your real name, you better have a name that's unique enough that you can be the most popular that in the world. I'm the most popular Devin Nash on Earth.
That's true.
But it's not that hard because there's not that many people called Devin Nash. There are people like that. And what bothers me is like every other person that's called Devin Nash is like a serial killer. So like when I was trying to beat them initially in search results, like one of the Devin Nashes was like a dude that like bashed into somebody's home and like killed a bunch of people, and like it was like all over the news and shit. And so like I had to like actually beat those people out in search results so that when you search Devin Nash on Google, you get me first. And that versus like ABC News that had it. Yeah, it was really challenging. So I had to do a lot of work to get there.
My chat says you're the same guy.
They think so, yeah. I don't look like him at all. But like the other thing about it is syllables. This is something that a lot of people underestimate in brand creation. So if you want to do something like successful, you want to have two syllables. Two syllables is like god tier, silky, just so of like Codemiko. Is Codemiko 3? I'm an idiot. Codemiko.
Miko is 2.
Miko.
Miko is 3.
Yep, and you're the only Miko on Twitch.
Yeah.
That's good. So, Devin Nash is 3, eh?
Yeah.
Devin Nash, yeah. 3 is really good. If you can get 2, it's like, get out of here. Think about.
Just change it to Miko?
No. Code Miko's fine. Okay. If you ever get like Twitch TV /Miko, that's like maybe something you want to do like when you're bigger.
Ooh.
That's like something you could do because Miko's most likely it's taken, but it's most likely an active account. Unless you get unlucky and it's like a partner, then you're fucked. But usually it's not. It's probably just someone that has 0 followers.
It's a partner.
It's a partner? Yeah, you're fucked. You're totally fucked. Twitch.tv /Devin is a partner also. So I feel you.
Damn.
Yep.
It's a dude.
Get wrecked.
What kind of dude's name is Miko?
Are you gender shaming because his name is Miko?
Oh, you're right.
You're
right.
That's very offensive to dudes named Miko. Every dude in chat named Miko right now is unfollowing you.
I'm sorry.
And they loved you because you had their name and they thought that they understood you.
Sorry.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. I forget what
Big,
year this is.
big
I'm
mistake. So
sorry.
much for building a brand because you just tanked it.
Oh,
Yeah, it's over.
oops. Well, he's a lovely guy. I'm gonna, you know what? To save my brand, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna follow
Aw.
him.
Miko
Yeah.
fall. He's like playing a guitar. The guy's going hard. He's got like a random
Aw.
cat picture. Yeah.
Oh, wait, he doesn't speak English. Oh, that makes sense. Okay. His name is Miko.
Mm.
That would make sense. Yeah.
Yep.
Aw.
So like really, really good brand names, we can think of them that are like 2 or 3 syllables. Almost every popular broadcaster on Twitch has a 2 or 3 a syllable name, or it is easily shortened to that. So like for example, Soda Poppin'. If I say soda, everyone knows who that is,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But then there's some like god tier names like Moon Moon.
Mm.
Moon Moon's a fucking god tier name. It's super simple. Everybody can spell it. It's 2 syllables. It's like everyone can figure it out. It's fucking crazy, right? But
Moon.
yeah. If you go through like all the top like 100, 200, 500 broadcasters, they all have 2 or 3 syllable names. So Codemiko is fine. It's a 3 syllable name.
Pokemon is 3.
What?
Pokemon is 3.
Yep. Everyone you think of will be 2 or 3, basically. Will Neff,
That makes
Hassan, Abi,
sense.
right? Yep.
Yeah.
Which is just Hassan, which is 2. Shroud.
Yeah.
Shroud is a fucking insane name. Because, like, here's the thing. If you can get a 1-syllable name that then also has search results that are, like... So, like, the problem with Miko is if I Google Miko, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to find. I'm like, Miko... I don't know what I'll find. Let's find out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to be you. It's going to be... In Shinto, Miko is a shrine maiden or supplementary priestess. This Miko was, I didn't even know this. They were most likely seen as shamans, but are understood in modern Japanese culture to be institutionalized in daily shrine life. That is cool. I like that. And then next one is Miko 2, the only robot that helps your child learn. So here's a content idea segment for you. Miko Googles herself and like finds out things, right? Like you could just find out what your name means. Miko from Inuyasha. So you have no shot at ever dominating this keyword.
Fuck.
But if you do, so don't switch to Miko. That's the lesson there. If you're at Codemiko, then you've got it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Codemiko.
Yep. So Codemiko is good. So syllables are good. I think that was like a digression or something. But yeah, also Codemiko is consistent branding across. It's ridiculous that you don't have Codemiko on Twitter, and I don't know why, and it makes me angry.
Yeah. I only have I could get maybe I could contact that guy and be like, yo, can I take your name?
Buy it for money.
Okay, brand.
OnlyFans is not the play. No.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not the direction. Patreon is fucking great, and your Patreon is super bad.
Well,
We're gonna talk about that next.
Okay. Yeah, I have like nothing in my Patreon.
Tell me about all the reasons that you feel like you shouldn't charge people for content behind paywalls because you feel like you don't deserve to do it.
Oh no, I just don't have time.
Okay, so you don't have any imposter syndrome around charging people on Patreon.
What do you mean?
What's stopping you from building out like a whole Patreon and doing it, in your opinion?
Oh, because it's just too much time. Like I would have to I would basically have to make behind the scenes videos, I'm gonna guess, or like stream off of my Twitch, or or like write up tech blogs of and I don't really want to. I do show a lot of stuff that how I do it, but I don't really want to like show everything, right? So I don't necessarily want to make a tutorial either. So it's like the only options I really have is like making videos of behind the scenes and putting it on Patreon that's separate from my Twitch, and I feel like it just takes so much of my time.
Okay, so I was just trying to identify the thinking and what's going on. So the issue is that you think that you are approaching Patreon in the same way as you are approaching your Twitch show, which is I need to create unique content that is interesting so that this shows up, and I don't have time to do that. So we need to change your thinking around that. That is not what you need to do on Patreon. What you need to do on Patreon is you need to some degree, sell access, which can mean like special Discord privileges, right?
Oh.
And you need to basically sell more accessibility, but not your time. So you need to collect a list of subscription benefits that more or less, remember, our entire theme when we are brand diversifying is to create something, just to go all the way back, right, to what we started with, to create something that allows you as much as possible to focus on what you do best, which is creating your content and doing your show. So if you were to branch out on Patreon and you were going to do unique content, you would be hamstringing yourself by doing that. So you need to think about Patreon in a much more passive way.
Okay.
And the game plan here is that we go to 10 to 15 like Patreons. Okay. And our research team can do this. There's some things I want to talk to you about offline, ways that I think I can help you beyond doing this that you can consider. As I have a vast amount of resources to accomplish a lot of the stuff that you're trying to do right now pretty easily. And they're not things that I offer very often, but things that I might offer you because, but they're transactional as business shit. So that would be why I want to discuss it later. If you don't do that, though, I'm going to teach you how to do it. Doesn't matter. So like we go to 10 to 15 like Patreons. We look at the passive tiers that are working. And you understand the difference between passive and active. Passive being something that you can basically accomplish with little to no extra work. Active being something. So active is like when you started. So the reason I started asking you questions around like what is holding you back on Patreon, I wanted to get you talking. So I figured out, it can be a couple of things. Imposter syndrome is usually number one. That's why I assumed it right away. Is usually I don't feel like my content is worth charging for. You're past that. That's good. So your second problem is, okay, if I do post something, I want it to be quality. It's got to be tech blog posting. It's got to be extra, right? So we want to focus on the passive tiers that can still provide value to people. But the overarching thing, and this is the most important thing I'm going to tell you about Patreon, is that you create, I'm going to tell you something so important. Holy shit, this is the most important thing I'm going to tell you today. You need to create the image and maybe the reality that your brand is supported and you are able to do more things via people's direct support to you on Patreon. Patreon becomes the place where you can then divert income back into development, back into building teams. Does that make sense? I'm not sure I explained it too well.
No, I understand.
Okay. So if you had 8 tiers or 4 tiers or whatever, and okay, can I just give you a fucking example? Okay. So there's a person that I rep named Arcadum. I love him. Arcadum is a dude who does custom Dungeons and Dragons campaigns on Twitch for influencers. And he has this living world where for 16 years, he has built out this living, breathing fantasy world that people roleplay in. Wow. And they do that all across Twitch. There's over 70 influencers in his campaigns, and he's amazing. Okay?
Wow. Yeah.
I'm going to link you his Patreon real quick because we built this Patreon for him overnight. He went from $0 to $5,000, and he currently sits at about $4,500. Now, what I want you to think about is why this happened. Okay? The way that this got marketed and the way we intentionally marketed it, if you want to support Jeremy in creating this world, this is where you go. In the exact same way, if you want to support Miko and her development, this is where you go. And we set goals like if I get this amount of money, I'll be able to do this, which are true. We're not faking it. These are true. You really will invest this back into the business. I know you will.
Yeah.
Okay. So the other very compelling reason to do this, Patreon takes 5%. Everything on Twitch is costing you half or 30% minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a numbers game. So that doesn't mean that your support on Twitch will go down, by the way, because only your core audience will identify with you on Patreon anyway. There'll be plenty of subscribers that like, so don't worry about like diluting your income on Twitch or whatever. That won't happen. This will literally just be another source of income. Like we literally created $4,500, $5,000 a month for Arcadum overnight. He just made $5,000 more, and I can do the same thing for you. And you can do the same thing for you. I'm not trying to say that like I have the ability to do this. This is like something. Once I give you this knowledge, you can do that. Yeah. Now, structuring the tiers, making the goals correct. That's stuff that we can kind of like cash out, and I can give you the details on. But what is important is that you understand the concept.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Way too many people have their sole income source on Twitch, and it is dumb as hell. Because if your channel gets banned, if you're offline for a long period of time, if you get hit by a bus, whatever. But if your Patreon exists, not only, again, we're talking about, I'm getting so pumped because I fucking love marketing. Ooh, okay. So,
Here, calm down.
no, get that out of here. We're talking about numbers, disregard women, acquire, analytics. We're done with that. Underwear segment is fucking over. We're talking about money. This is my shit. We're in Devin's world now. Okay.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. Like, if you, where your brand lives, if you live on Patreon versus living on Twitch, right? Patreon exists when you're not streaming. The support, the ability to support you exists when you're not streaming. That monthly subscription, that monthly stuff exists when you're not streaming. It is so much more powerful. Now, you want to also be on Twitch and like let them make Twitch money, give them subs, tips, great, fine. Nobody's saying that, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm painting for you over the course of the next 3 to 4 months, right? So long tail, 6 months, we'll call it. We get through this period of Twitch saturation, and then we diversify, branch 2 income streams. One over here is Patreon, one over here is YouTube, one over here is Twitch. Bam, you're a brand. And you're making 3 times the income. Full stop.
Whoa.
Yep. That's what we're going to do in the next 6 months.
Okay.
Come with me. I will take you to a new world.
I will come with you to new world.
That's right. This is my shit. They thought it was underwear. It's not. It's numbers, baby. This is full chub.
Huh?
What? I like numbers, okay? You like underwear, I like numbers. We can have... Don't make fun of me for my hobbies. Don't shame me for my numbers.
So someone told me...
Uh-oh.
Because I built a character. I built this cute, fat character.
Yeah.
And I called it Chub Chub. Because it
Very
was
unique.
chubby. Chub Chub.
Mm-hmm.
And then someone told me that chub meant like an erection.
Yeah, it means you have a boner. If I say I have full chub, it means I'm like full hogging it. It means like...
Oh, no. I mean, yeah, there we go.
So like chub means boner.
Oh.
But in the context that you were using it, which is like you made a fat character and called it chub, I think that like the context, people understand that relationship.
Yeah. Chub.
Okay. We're going to move on from chubs. Can we talk about Patreon?
Yes.
God damn it. Let me get back to what makes me...
I think I'm flare up your ADHD too.
You
probably. I think I flare up your ADHD.
Yeah. It's a... we could just like do this for indefinitely.
I know. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Which is fine. I think that I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
This is not like we can do other streams.
No, I want to learn everything now so that I can start.
Oh, and then and then just like I get it. This is the one pump chump thing. Okay, she's gonna learn everything here, and then that's it. I'm done. Twitch chat.
Oh no, Mr. Devin Nash, you're. Wait, why are we talking about one pump chubs?
I'm just fucking with you. It's a joke.
But what does it mean?
Oh no, don't do this. No. This is it. This is Event Horizon. No, we're going to circle all the way back. You know what? You don't have to know everything. We're going to go all the way back
to
Patreon.
Ask Brandon.
You know what? Give him a call. Ask him.
Really?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
I just want to see what he says. The guy's fucking excellent. Imagine getting phone calls from your girlfriend, like you just over and over again, asking various things like this. You're like,
Hello.
Brandon. Hey, Brandon. What's a one pump chub?
Chump.
A one pump chub?
Chump.
A one pump chump.
Oh, one pump chump. Okay, yeah, this is when you go to Starbucks and you don't want as much sugar because of the caloric intake. So you say, I'm a one pump chump, and they only give you one pump of the flavoring, and you get like, usually for a grande, it's like 4 pumps. You're getting about a fourth of the calories. But those people are lame because, calories are a social construct, right?
Okay.
So,
Okay, all right, Brandon. Thank you.
Calories are a social construct.
Thank you,
Bye.
Brandon. Bye. Well, now we know. It's just like coffee. Putting sugar into coffee.
That dude is legit. That's a Tinder hookup, man. You like rolled you rolled like a straight 10 on that. That was a good play.
He's good. He's awesome. I really like him.
That's actually amazing.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Patreon. Okay, we can do this. My ADHD can do this.
You're not gonna learn everything this stream anyway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You like holy shit. Like if you just do what I've told you up till now, you're gonna win. Doesn't it already seem apparent?
No, I don't want to.
You and your thing, okay? Listen.
I just don't like I don't know. I don't like thinking about this stuff. I just like just doing it and then just not even thinking about.
You and me know what's
going
going on here, okay? This is where you play the silly girl that doesn't understand.
Yes.
But I know you understand.
What do you mean? No, I understand what you're saying. I just don't like processing it. It's different when you understand it versus processing it, right? Like I don't want to. I don't want to get excited. I don't want emotions attached to it. Like I don't want to.
Yep, no emotions ever.
So I don't want to think about it because then, like, if I think about it, then I'll be like,
yeah, but you need to think about it later, as in like relationship to like how you're going to execute on it. Because if you stop thinking about it, you're not going to do it.
Oh no, I execute. I just don't like executing when I have emotions.
Why not?
I don't know if that makes sense. No, I like what I mean is like I like executing. Like the only emotion I want to feel is like my drive to get it done, and not like all this like, wow, I'm getting this and I'm getting this much viewership. Or like,
yep,
wow.
We talked about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're saying that you don't want to get too emotionally okay, I get it. You're saying you don't want to get too emotionally invested in potential future results. You want to focus on what it is. You have a cat.
Yeah. Aw, my baby.
It's a kitty. That's a fat cat.
No, she's just really fluffy. For real. She's actually a little bit underweight. I'm trying to get her to be a bit heavier.
Looked like a chonker.
No, I know. She's very, very, very fluffy. That's why.
I love cats so much.
She does this thing sometimes where if you make kissing noises, she'll lift her head up.
There it is.
See?
Yeah. This cat makes me happy. What kind of cat is it?
It's a ragdoll.
Oh my god, that's the cat I want.
Yeah, she's really, really.
Does she
really
does she come to the door and greet you when you come home?
Yes.
Yeah, that's why I want a ragdoll.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah.
She like greets me and she goes.
Yeah. Doesn't that feel good? It's like having a dog cat.
And she also like cuddles me a lot when
that's
we're
so
sleeping.
cool.
I have so many cuddle pictures. Can I show you?
You can. I want a cat that like is a friend that like actually
Let me show you. Sorry. Go ahead.
I just love the idea of a ragdoll cat. It's like a cat that is specifically bred to be your ally.
Like this is.
Is this girl literally Devin as a girl? Pretty much so far. Yeah. Here, do you like yoga?
I mean, I used to do yoga.
Fuck. Yeah, she is. She's me. Yeah.
Sorry. This is like, I don't know if you can see it.
Kind of.
Like,
yeah.
She cuddles like that.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's so neat. I don't think she dances. Do you dance?
I pole dance.
What? Like legit?
I used to take a lot of I used to take classes and like I used to be pretty good at it, but I haven't done it in like a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna show cute cat photos because she's a sweetheart. Look, it's me and my kitty.
Oh my god.
Isn't that cute? She's licking my face.
I don't pole dance now.
Licking my face. She's so cute. Anyway.
I don't pole dance. Chat. You know I don't pole dance. You know style of dance I do. They're telling me I pole dance.
Pole dancing is great for core.
Abs. Yep. Yep, amazing for apps. I love dancing. That's probably one of my most favorite. Right now in my life, it's always top 3, but right now it's my favorite thing of all time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love dancing. All right, are we back?
Okay. Brand building.
Hmm?
Brand building.
Brand building. Okay.
Brand building.
I think Patreon is the I think so basically you're going to want to get into your head like how much money you're going to need to build the team that you want to be able to delegate
Oh.
the things that you want. And that is going to be a much higher number at first. And you're going to, but I'm actually going to tell you it's way lower than you think if you price things out the right way.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So I think that there's a way to do this. And this goes to like the building a team thing, which is like where we need to go after this, because like that I want to get to that. And to some extent, I need to make sure that I'm conscious. I have a podcast tonight, so I gotta like eat and shit for that.
Yeah.
So, I still have time, but like on the Patreon, we were talking about passive tiers that work versus active tiers. Now you can so basically the plan here is for most of the tiers and most of the options we put in, we want to make them passive. The top tiers can be more active. So the ones that pay the most, because that is the most direct ROI for your time. Does that make sense? Return on investment.
Return. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to give you just a direct analogous example. So if I do consulting, my consulting rate starts at $500 an hour and goes up to about 1,000, right? And I have no time to do it. But the reason why that is priced that way is because if I do a 1-hour consultation with somebody, that is me actively in that process, plus all the research that I have to do for that. So that's worth a lot, right? Does that make sense? Like that's got to be worth a lot to me. It's got to be very valuable for me to do that because it's an active use of my time.
Yeah.
Okay. So like a passive thing, like access to a special chat in Discord, that is something that I can sell at a lower value because it doesn't directly impact my time that much to do it.
Yeah.
So you want to make your reward tiers proportional to the amount of time you personally invested them. With the ones that are the highest, like being the ones that you have the most return on, and the ones that are the lowest being the most passive. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the general idea of how to construct a Patreon. We can actually do it though. We can just like list it out. It's actually just like another project. Like it would take us a couple hours to do.
Okay.
Yeah. But that I just want to like kind of broadcast the thinking in case like I walk outside my office, I get hit by a bus, and you never see me again. Like you'll be able to build it. It could happen.
Oh my god.
I'm just like thinking about crotchless underwear, and then bam, hit by a bus. That's it.
Oh no. Knock on wood, Devin.
It's okay. I don't have any wood. I have some over there. Okay.
Okay, there we go.
All right. Now I'm not gonna die. Good. Okay. So that's I think the Patreon, like I think you know what? So for the purpose of this discussion, we'll just like stop the Patreon there. Like there's more to go into, like how many tiers do we have? Why? What tiers do what? What are the most effective? I have all that data. I just think for the purpose of this discussion, it's minutia. What's important right now is that we build a sort of overall kind of vision. And that's why I'm kind of pitching you the YouTube, the Twitch, and the Patreon, and that's where they sit. And so what a lot of like inexperienced marketers will do is they'll say, okay, Miko, get on Instagram, start posting pictures. Get on YouTube, start posting community stuff. Get on Twitter, post once a day, right? More is not better in brand building. What will happen is that you will dilute yourself and you go fucking crazy trying to keep up with all this shit.
Yeah.
So you want to stay focused. Like ideally, you really want to just like stay focused on your Twitch stream. Especially for now, that's all you want to do. You don't even need to think about this YouTube and Patreon shit for what you should think about Patreon faster, but like YouTube, you don't even think you should think about it if you like long term. But what I'm saying is like the YouTube and the Patreon should take proportionally less time to build because you're focused on that Twitch stream. So if you're like posting pictures on Instagram and you're thinking about the photo, oh, my angle's bad, I got to take 100 other photos. Oh, that's like not right. My makeup was off. It's like, oh, this is all bullshit. Like you gotta, like it's gonna take you away from thinking about your content and what makes a great show. And that's bad. Does it get you more engagement to post on Instagram? Is posting on Instagram as Codemiko a good idea? Sure. But like what I'm telling you is like, don't get lost in the minutia. Like don't get like lost in the world of like more is more. And instead think about the quality that you're bringing, that passion that you're bringing, and then as you start to delegate and diversify your products, everything will fall together. Does that all make sense? Yeah? Good?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna use the bathroom, and then I'm gonna think about the next thing, which is building a team, which I think is really important. Okay. Cool.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Yes, let's do it. I'm
Next
so
and last
excited.
topic. Yep. For tonight.
I'm so excited.
All right. The first thing I'm gonna say about this. Are you ready? Are you prepared? Are you mentally here?
Yes.
Good. You're gonna need to be. Don't hire simps. You need to, before I even get into how to do this, the number one mistake you can make as a female streamer, do not hire people that worship you. And it will be it is harder to do than it sounds. And you will know because you are going to have to actually take applications. You're going to have to actually take people. You are going to look for people who are as passionate about what you're doing as you are. That they think that the virtual world of VTubing is cool, that they think that what you're creating is cool, that they're interested in the greater development of your brand, and that they're invested in it. You will be able to very easily tell this. Your mods can be simps. No, like your chat's saying like, oh, mods can be simps. That's fine. Kind of. I'll get into that. But people that work for you that you pay, they need to be professionals and they be invested in you on a higher level. Like this sounds like a meme that I'm telling you, but I'm telling you right now, I'm very lucky because I don't like have to deal with this problem. Everyone that I hire, it just is there for. I actually, I'll explain it all and what I'm going to structure, but they're there for a bunch of different reasons. You are, and I'm just going to tell you this is a reality, and I'm sorry this is the case, but because this is actually like kind of like a sag, okay? But you are going to be in a position your entire content creator career where you will always be coming up against this. It's like, do they value me because I am trying to create something unique in the world that I think is really cool, or do they value me because I'm a pretty Asian girl? That's it. Like, and you've got to make that evaluation with every single person you hire. I'm going to tell you why.
I could become fat.
That's an option, or we could just, take applications and evaluate them instead of instead of damaging your health. Yeah, that sounds good. Also, it's not clear that becoming fat will solve this problem. Some dudes are into that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think you just get sims that like fat girls, and then
I see.
Yep.
I see.
Yep. Unfortunately, you're basically fucked.
But not in the butt.
Right. Not if we do things right. Now, you know what's really interesting about that too is a very, very small digression. I'm gonna stay on topic, but I actually think that if you had not revealed yourself, you'd be in exactly the same position. If you were just Miko, you actually would have. What the fuck was that? The cat like. Oh, I thought it fell or something. Yeah.
He's having a hairball, I think.
Oh, a hairball.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I think you would be in exactly the same position if you were just Miko. Because people will get attached to a female avatar in the same way that they do a real person over time. So the first piece of advice that I can give you is that you need to very carefully vet your hiring process for people that believe in your brand and believe in what you're doing instead of who you are and how you look. And I'm telling you that is harder than it sounds because these people will be very good at seeming like they care about the first thing. And that the way that you get around this is you structure your job applications correctly. When you post something, do not do this. Hi guys, I'm looking for a YouTube editor to help me out make some videos. Please DM me if you're interested. Don't do that shit, okay? You're gonna get super simps, and they're all gonna. It's gonna be terrible, okay? You are gonna be a hardcore pipe hitting motherfucker, okay? You're gonna be like, here's the experience required. Here's what I'm looking for. Here's the KPIs. Here's what we're gonna accomplish, and you're gonna post that professionally. And then you're gonna get professional people because if you ask a professional question, you get a professional answer. If you like, don't do the thing which a lot of people do. And the reason I'm telling you this is because in in my other world that I do, which is I run an agency, right? I represent talent. This is the number one problem that our female influencers come across. They end up in a situation where they are paying somebody that should be doing something professionally for them that is trying deliberately to make it weird to get in a relationship or do some fucking thing like that. And it becomes a fucking nightmare. And you end up having to like let people go that like thought that they were going to get into something with you because they were like personally attached, but you thought it was professional. Just fucking avoid this entire mess and make it very clear at the beginning through communication that this is a professional relationship where we are not going to fuck around because you're here because you believe in this brand and I'm paying you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you are always going to, I think, underestimate how hard it is for guys to understand it unless they're directly told so. Okay. This is really important. I would not be, I have represented so many female influencers and I'm just like telling you right off the bat, when you're talking about building a team, before I even tell you how to do it, you need to think about this. Always.
Well, I threaten my male viewers all the time, so
What does
I'm
that
pretty
mean?
sure they're very aware that they can't get any.
They're not aware of that. No matter how much you think that that's
Well,
true.
I constantly remind them that they are my bro. Okay. All right. They're my friends.
Trust me. This is
Do you really think my viewers are slightly coomerish? What?
well, my distinction is like I'm trying to figure out how much are you playing this up? You can't unironically think that they're not.
I think some of them are, but I feel like majority of them are not actual coomerish. Are they really?
Yeah. Here's the thing. The wider audience you appeal to, the more that becomes the case, right? Because you will have a percentage of a core audience that just thinks what you're doing is super cool.
Yeah.
And like just like is here to chill, long-term sub because they support what you're doing. Yeah. I'm not saying that doesn't exist. But as you like so the way that let's say you drop a bomb, okay?
Mm.
How does it work? There's an explosion. There's a centrifuge explosion, right? There's an explosion in the center.
Yeah.
And then there's a shockwave that goes outward. Okay?
Yeah.
Are you with me?
Yeah.
Okay, so that explosion, that is your core audience. And that's the people that appreciate you, I think, for what you do and who you are.
Yeah.
Okay? As the shockwave goes out and more people hear about you, those people on the fringe of that will be less and less invested in that core message.
I get you.
Your job as a broadcaster and as a creator is to bring those people closer in. So it's you take people on the outer rings and you bring them in, and then they become authentically invested with you. But a certain and very large percentage, especially as you're now getting discovered, are going to be coomers. Yes, 100%. And you need to be aware of that. You just need to be aware of it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I think that you just need to detect you just need to have like a radar. You just have to have a Kuma radar. Like I don't even know how else to say it. Like you'll meet the characteristics are the same. The archetype is really similar. So like you'll be able to identify if you can't already. Because I feel like everything you're saying you already know. I here's the thing, right? I think that most of what I'm saying you already know, but I don't know how much you're playing it up. Like the idea, like you should have like a radar, and like it'll become apparent, like the archetype of a person that just like wants to talk to you because you're hot. Like you'll be able to, like, oh, that's another one. Okay.
No, I know, I understand that, but
Yeah.
I mean, like when it comes to I mean, like my audience, I used to stream as like a female, like I used to stream as just
As
like
opposed
myself,
to now, yeah. As opposed to a popsicle, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess I like nowadays I feel like my audience is a lot more interested in like tech and like than cooming.
I would like to believe you, but perhaps I am more pessimistic on humanity than you. I appreciate your optimism. I would like you to be aware of this concept before we get into building teams so that it does not damage you in the future, as I have seen it do for many female influencers.
Here's the thing though. When I think about building my team though, I do post up a lot about like I'm looking for, video editors, I'm looking for people that help me with dev, and etc.
Mm.
I mean, I do post them like very professionally, but like, and I do get professional people replying me back, and I do look through them. But a lot of them just don't fit like exactly what I'm looking for, right?
That's fine. Yeah.
So for when it comes to like hiring stuff, like I found more success going through like my past IRL contacts since I used to work in like the industry
Mhm.
and just hitting their lists up of people that they know. I've just been having trouble with like video editors because it's like I need very simple edits for my VODs, and like
Mhm.
all my contacts are just like people that are like super professional that cost like $1 million an hour.
Okay. Well, I mean,
Um,
we can just move past this and get into how to actually build the team. Like,
okay,
let's go. Okay. So, I'm gonna tell you about a concept that I have called the lab.
okay.
Okay. Do you know about it?
Mm-mm.
All right. So the lab is a project I started because of this problem. Um, what the lab is it's a private Discord community
Mhm,
within my community. Okay.
mhm.
So they get roles, and the roles are things like graphics design,
Oh
infographics,
shit.
video editor. Okay. And then they exist in a private community, and they build resources for the stream. And the thing that I promise them is twofold. One, they're paid, all of them, for everything they do. And secondly, it is a unique opportunity because I don't have time to sell individual mentorships, though I get requested like quite a bit for it. Um, this is an opportunity for people that are trying to break into the gaming industry, or people that are trying to break into the like the esports world or whatever, to like have the opportunity to do like paid work with like somebody, as well as like receive other opportunities. Like usually a lot of things come down through the agency world, and I transfer them over to the people in the lab. So a lot of people that have gone through the lab, and kind of, you can think of it as like kind of a graduation program, like a school where like
Yeah.
they learn. A lot of people have gone on to have full-time careers in gaming or start their own companies
Oh
or anything
wow.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I would propose to you is that you build your version of this. And
Mhm,
in the same way that Project Melody has a science team that she calls it, if you're familiar with that, which is essentially like a mini laboratory type of
mhm,
situation. Maybe
mhm.
I evoked the wrong kind of emotions in that, because what this more is like, this is like a core group of people that you. So there's a couple of things here that are going to be really useful. The first one is flat tiers of pay. So flat tiers of pay mean, okay, I paid this for graphics design, I pay this for a video being edited, I paid this for a thumbnail. And that way you don't have to like deal with like these like rate problems where you're like paying everybody different rates for different things.
Yeah,
hmm
yeah.
And so this is like pretty easy to do, is like you basically like go on Discord, you're going to create your own like private chat, you're going to get the roles, then you're going to create a Gmail, and your Gmail
Mhm.
is going to be apps.codemiko at gmail.com, whatever. And then you're gonna actually post, which I can take a note. I'm gonna give you the one that I use to hire video editors, and
Okay.
then you can just modify that. And what it will do is you'll get apps of that. You'll pick a few, toss them into the lab, give them the flat rate, which we can discuss like what I think market value is and everything. I've done a lot of research on that. Um, and you're going to start off with like maybe like 1 to 3 people, and they will work in tandem with you on the projects that you're interested in. And I
Yeah.
suggest you do the same thing. So you have like Miko slash developers. So you were saying
Mhm,
you wanted to hire a bunch of developers.
mhm.
You have like Miko slash YouTube, right? And
Yeah.
there are these sort of different people that factor into each one. Now, you can do a sort of proving grounds type of thing where you just invite every application that looks good into one of these chats. And then what you're going to notice is that there's going to be people that rise to the top and overperform. They're going to be
Mhm.
there's going to be like, let's say if you selected 5 potential people to do YouTube stuff, one of them is just going to fucking kill it and going to do everything, and then some of them are going to do nothing. And so the kind of hard conversation I have to have with you about this is you're gonna have to be willing to like confront people, and possibly like, because you're gonna have people that do nothing, and like I don't tolerate people that do nothing in the lab. The lab is like a mutual effort. I'm putting in a lot of investment into
Yeah.
educating them, paying them, growing them as people. They put a lot of investment back towards me. We talk all the time. We go back and forth. Like they are literally an iterative process. And now already one of them is just broaching on full time. So like he actually like the goal is to get a couple of people on a monthly salary, right?
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
they are actually making like real fucking money by doing this. But at
Yeah.
first you just pay flat rates. But as you get
Yeah.
people that overperform, you move them into those positions that you need. So if
I
you had
see.
10 developers, you would then have like one that's super overperformed. You would eventually move them to monthly. And oh, how do you pay for that? That's the Patreon. That's the YouTube, right? That's how that money
Yeah.
comes in.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it all connects together
I see.
like a beautiful banana split pudding or something, like a beautiful pie, like a beautiful cake. It all comes together. You see, the Patreon
Yeah.
and the YouTube fund the ability to grow your community of people that then grow your brand, that then grow your Patreon. And so it goes until you are infinite, all seeing and all knowing. The ultimate Codemiko, the final form. And so my masterpiece is complete. That's your game going forward.
I see. Pagu.
And I will send you the applications that I use,
Okay.
which will kind of like be this. And you can. Do you have a person who helps you with your Discord? Do you have an admin?
Jorm. Yeah.
Okay, so he can really easily set this up in the way that. And so then what'll happen is you'll have a core team that you start building. The only like real hiccup I see for you is I think you might be hesitant to let people go that are underperforming. And I worry a little bit about that. No, you're like a badass that just like slays people left and right. Okay, cool. Great. Yeah, fantastic. I don't know, right? Because I don't know you as well. So,
Oh
yeah.
no, don't worry. That's the easiest part.
Damn, this girl's brutal. Okay, cool. Yeah, good. Then go with it. And then yeah. If you are good at that, because okay, the reason I say that, like no meme, the number one problem with managers is that they don't let people go fast enough. They try
Oh
too
no.
hard to lift people up that are underperformers.
Oh no,
Yeah, and I'm saying that if you don't waste time with that, you will have a crack team of people that really care
Okay.
about what you're doing.
Yeah.
So those are your two pitfalls: are don't hire simps and don't be afraid to fire people.
I am not afraid to kick people out.
I'm almost like a
enjoy it.
little bit scared of how sure of yourself you are here. This is like pretty crazy. Like maybe off stream you're like a super brutal like tiger. Like
I don't give a cent of my time to people that waste my time.
Okay.
Sorry. No, seriously. I have no remorse for people that tries to like bring me down in any fashion.
Good. I'm proud of you. That's good.
Yeah.
Monka Giga. Yeah. That's good. So then that won't hold you back.
No.
That's really good. So then I think that's the plan if you're trying to build this out. And you're gonna here's the thing I'm gonna say also. You're gonna start at lower rates, okay?
Yeah.
And you're gonna have to explain to people that you might be paying. And I believe in transparency overall. So I think that communicating. So I communicated with the lab at first. I said, guys, I'm gonna have to pay you 30 to 40% lower market rates. And if you're okay with that, I'm going to try to exchange knowledge and other things for that. The reason is because at the time I'm 100 viewer Andy, right? Like I can't afford it. I just don't have the money to put back in. So over the lab that as it exists today pays above market rates because I got there. I was able to build the monetization systems out. They trusted me, and then they got the benefit later, right? That's a conversation you're going to have while you're in this position that you might have to have a conversation like, okay, like we're going to pay, I think like 10%, 20% down below market rate, which people are going to fucking freak out about. This is the whole like blah, blah, blah. Like I'm not saying don't pay your editors. I'm not saying don't pay them exposure. But actually, by the way, this is another tenet that I have. If someone does work for you, this is a Devin Nash like personal opinion thing. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but it's just my own theory. If someone does work for you, never, ever, ever, ever let them work for free. Ever.
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So just like I will pay people no matter what. Usually if somebody is offering to work for free, it means because they are their motivation's wrong. Like that money and that transaction gives you permission and accountability on both sides. It's extremely important. I never let anybody do anything for me for free. Like, and so you seem to already intuitively know that. Again, I'm just like constantly impressed by how much you know. It's a little bit crazy, actually.
I don't pay my mods.
I did not pay my mods for a really long time, and then I came.
I did tell Jorm though, my mod, that like I will soon pay him.
I didn't pay my mods for a long time, and then I came up with a very cool idea. And by I came up with it, I mean I stole it from someone else that I did a discussion with, which is Sweet Anita.
Oh.
I take the ad revenue from Twitch, and I divide it by the mods, and I pay it out.
Oh.
Yep.
I don't make anything from ads though.
Because you don't run them?
Yeah.
Yep. So if you run them, and your mods can run, your mods will run ads for you. And you will be able, and then you can just tell your viewers, like if you get up and go somewhere, you just run some ads, and then your mods, basically, the Anita's idea is so good because it's how do we get the mods to invest in the success of the stream? We need to pay them something that is proportional to them, like being encouraged to work in the stream and grow. Well, if it's based on ad revenue, then the better your stream does, the more the mods get paid.
Oh.
So they're enthusiastic about working for you.
Oh, that's very smart.
Yep. Anita's a huge brain.
But don't ads like drive away viewers?
No, that's a meme. Ads increase viewers because you ads increase viewers because you are able. Sorry, that's weird. Hang on one second. Ads increase viewers because you're disabling pre-rolls.
Oh. So how often should I run the ad per stream?
Sorry, I'm like,
no worries.
I'm just getting a weird like business call.
Every hour?
Yeah.
How many ads?
Sorry, you just give me 1 second. So
No.
I think we're
answering. 3?
Okay. So it is that's pre-rolls. Okay. 3 out of every 10 viewers leave your stream because of pre-roll ads. So if you pull your chat right now and you say how many people will click on a stream, you'll see an ad and you'll be like, fuck this, and you'll go to another stream.
I don't. I leave. I dip.
Most people do. I do too. Yeah. Side note that I can't believe no one knows about. There's a thing called Twitch Turbo, which for like $9 a month or something, you can completely disable ads on the site and simultaneously support all your streamers. So you should just sign up for that, like, since that's way worth your time.
Twitch Turbo.
Yeah, there's a tier that for power users of the website, it's like crazy that they don't use this. They never advertise this. They don't tell anybody about it. But what Twitch Turbo does is it gives you no pre-rolls, mid-rolls, or anything, but the person that has Twitch Turbo still supports the person in ad revenue. Does that make sense? So like if I have Twitch Turbo, I go to Codemiko, the stream. The ad that would play for me that I don't see gets monetized for you, but I don't see it.
Oh wow.
That's embodied in my subscription. Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yep. So Turbo is great. You should sign up for it. It's $9 a month. Super easy. Most people that but anyway, as far as the stats perspective go, what you had just said, like, yeah, I just click off, I dip, right? And that's what most people do. They'll all tell you they do that. So that's the problem with pre-roll ads, is that you are basically passively losing viewership every single minute that you stream that pre-roll ads are on. Pre-roll ads are a nightmare for broadcasting and engagement because people will just click off it and go do another stream. So if you run, sorry, just because this is like the big thing. If you run ads, you will lose a certain percentage of viewers while you are AFK. But we did at the agency, we did a huge analysis on this, and we cross-referenced thousands of streams, and we looked at the dip in concurrent viewership that happens as a result of running an ad, right? Versus the dip in viewership that happens of going AFK. And it's almost exactly the same.
Oh, interesting.
It's like 10, 15% variance. So the if you go AFK, you're losing viewers anyway because you're disengaging them. A lot of them will just be like, okay, I'm gonna check it out. So that's why you only run ads when you're AFK, because that way you don't suffer double loss of viewership. Like if you run an ad while you're doing content or anything like that, then on top of that you disable pre-rolls, and and here's the end of it. The amount of viewers that you get back from running pre-roll ads will far exceed over time the amount of people that you lose as a result of running ads. Does that make sense? So if you run, I always fuck this up. Somebody in chat will correct me, but I think it's is it 2 minutes of ads every 30 minutes to disable it for 30 minutes, which is a lot. You can just run them once per hour, and but I think it's like it's some number of ads disables it for some number of Devin Nash chat. What is it? 30 seconds of ads to disable for 10 minutes. 90 seconds per 30, I think it is. Yeah, 3 minutes per hour. 30-second ad break is a 10-minute, so up to 1 minute and 30 seconds. 90 seconds is 30 minutes. Yep, that's what it is. Thank you, guys. 90 seconds of ads is 30 minutes. So you can either run 90 seconds of ads every 30 minutes, but it's probably a lot of breaks for you, so maybe just 90 seconds every hour. Or just don't think about it and just run them when you get up. Or don't do any of this, delegate it to your mods, and then pay your mods a percentage of the ad revenue, and then you're done. And you don't have to do any of this, what we just talked about. And it's just done for you. And don't worry about running ads.
I don't really take breaks on the stream.
That's not good. You should probably do that.
I just go all out. I don't think I actually... I think, yeah, when I start my segments, I just go until I'm done.
You don't use the bathroom?
I can't. I'm in a suit.
Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah. So when I do Miko, I actually don't drink water or anything like that.
How long does it take you to get out of that thing?
It doesn't take too long to get out of it. It's just putting it back on is annoying.
How do you have to take the entire suit off to go to the bathroom?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's a pickle.
Yeah, so I actually don't take any breaks when I do Miko.
I don't know how to solve that. I'm just giving you the info, and then I think you can probably use it.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Paying mods off a percentage of ad revenue just is a good idea. That's kind of what I'm saying. Because it encourages them to invest back into the stream, and make your stream more successful. Because even if you don't run ads actively, the passive pre-roll ads and the ads that people are seeing like on your VODs and stuff like that will add up, and it will make some amount of money, especially as your concurrent viewership goes up. So like right now, if you have like, I don't want to tell you your concurrence, but at the concurrence that you have with the level of with the concurrence you're going to have over the next like 3 to 4 weeks, if you actually did this, if you actually paid the mods out on ad revenue and you didn't run ads, it would not be an insignificant percentage. It'd be money. Like they'd be happy to get it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think this is something you can think about.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. You could do a crotchless suit.
No.
Okay. I shot my shot, boys. Okay. Can't win them all. We'll get them next time.
Oh my God.
Mods and ads, and then the flat tiers of pay for developers and editors. Okay. And the rest of it is like, what do you want? Like graphic designers, things like that. And your outcome here is to get 1 to 2 people in each branch, like each section. So developing is one section, YouTube is one section. That are like reliable people that you know are going to be there that you can pay on like a relatively monthly basis, which you fund via Patreon and YouTube.
Do you get much money off of YouTube though? I heard like you don't get anything from YouTube.
Oh no. You will make so much more money off of YouTube than you will off of Twitch. Full stop. 1,000%. Can I send you a single TikTok video?
Yeah.
Get me the TikTok video, chat.
I've heard so many people complain about them not making anything off of YouTube.
They're dumb. Also, they're liars. The fucking YouTube adpocalypse is the biggest fucking meme. If you knew how I can't even begin words.
Really?
Don't dude. Okay. On ad revenue alone, it's a completely different game. Where is my video? Where is it? Where Graham Stephan shows how much money he makes on YouTube. Okay, here's what's happening, okay? Okay. YouTubers go to Twitch because they're fucking bored. Because making YouTube videos as a process of time consumption usually is far, far less time intensive than it is to run a live show for 300 hours a month. Okay.
Yeah.
And I actually did a segment where I broke down Hassan Abi versus like a mid-tier YouTuber. And I showed the time commitment versus the ROI of the income, keeping in mind that Hassan streams like 300 hours a month. He streams an average of 10.9 hours a day, 7 days a week, no breaks. Okay. And if you take a mid-tier YouTuber, the income is comparable monthly. And the reason for that, thank you for finding it, Spike, you're a god. So hey. on your own time, or now if you want, watch that video. Do you want to watch it now or do you want to watch it later?
I'll watch it now.
Hell yeah. Tell me when you're gonna do it. We'll do it together. Okay.
I want to show the chat.
Yeah. I want to put into context that this is a person with 2.5 million subscribers. Okay, so there's over 100,000 people on YouTube in this tier. This is not like a top tier YouTuber or whatever. Tell me when you're ready.
Okay, go.
Turn on the sound. Turn on the sound.
Oh wait, no, wait, why isn't it going? Go. Oh,
you got to hit the play button, or you're looking at an image. What are you doing? All right. Okay.
I won't let me play.
This is the technician, guys.
It won't let me play.
Technician it. Hit the play button on the bottom left.
Oh, I have to log in.
No, you don't. Because I'm not logged in and I can do it.
I swear to God, I'm pressing it. It's not letting me do it.
God cannot help you. You can only help yourself.
Click harder. Guys, it's not working.
Why not?
Oh, there we go.
There, you did it. Are you ready? You're playing it.
Yeah. Sorry.
So for anyone who's curious how much I make on YouTube with 2.5 million subscribers, here you go. Let me take you into my analytics. So in terms of views, here's how many views I get pretty much every single day. I would say most days range anywhere from 200,000 on the lowest to usually about 500,000 at the highest. But as you can see here, it's pretty consistent overall. And then this day had a banger day right there.
What?
Now, in terms of revenue, you could see most days are anywhere from about 4,000 or so, sometimes up to about 7,000. And then that one really good day that did $10,137 worth of ad revenue. And then recently, $11,000 in a day. So when you add all of that up over 365 days, that works out to be a little bit over $1.9 million in ad revenue. And then if we look at the lifetime for my entire channel,
well, then how come they're
just over $3 million.
They're fucking liars is why. And they want you to believe for the same reason that fucking Twitch streamers don't talk about. How often have you heard any of the fucking top 5, 10, 15, 20 Twitch streamers tell you about how much they earn? They don't say it because they want you to keep donating. It's exactly the same shit. Dude, and for the people in chat that are like my marketing people that are like, well, Graham Stephan makes $30 of a CPM. Fine, divide it in half for Miko. You know, based on what her viewership capability is, her YouTube views are, she could easily get 300K views per video, no problem. So even if you divide that by half, she's clearing $1 million a year. They're like, it's fucking like it's easy, right? Like YouTube ad revenue is the most misunderstood meme. And everybody thinks that people don't make money on YouTube. They're fucking crazy. They make by every single metric, YouTubers make more money than Twitch streamers. YouTubers of comparable size, YouTubers of smaller size. YouTubers 50% smaller than Twitch streamers make way more money than Twitch streamers do.
Is there like a special checkbox that you have to check to get revenue from YouTube?
Yes. You have to decide that you're... Well, okay. There are techniques and there are things that you need to do. So, like, for example, I had a thing where... I don't think the streamer would want me to say who this was, but... She had a YouTube. It was getting a lot of views. This is a top tier influencer, and she was making like $1,000 a month off of it. I logged into her YouTube account in 15 minutes. The next month, she made $8,000.
Yeah, I heard there's something that you have to do to.
These are like memes, like so, like for example, every single video you want to make a 2-minute ad, for example. On every single video you
Oh,
want added exactly 2 minutes. This is shit that you need like a marketer to do that can do it in like 5 seconds.
oh,
But
interesting. Okay.
there's a bunch of stuff that you can do to monetize your YouTube channel correctly. But even if you don't do that stuff, your ad revenue is going to be through the roof. It's not a CPM problem, Twitch chat. I know the CPM she'll get. I know them by heart. I can tell you the CPM of any category on Twitch. I know exactly what her CPM would be. Do the math on the average CPM. $6.20 wouldn't matter. But she's going to be higher than that. She'll be at 11.
What's CPM?
Cost per 1,000 views. So that would be what an advertiser pays to be able to get in front of 1,000 of your people.
Oh.
CPM is also a metric on Twitch for ads run. But the difference between Twitch and YouTube is that YouTube is dynamic. So YouTube CPM is dynamic based on category. So for example, the YouTuber that I showed you is a finance YouTuber, and so his CPMs are quite high because a lot of Zoomers will purchase Robinhood apps on ads based on that, and then lose all their money on Wall Street bets because they think they can short Tesla or bet up on Tesla, whatever. And so there's a lot of money in that, right? So the CPMs will be really high. But finance YouTubers have the highest CPMs of anyone on YouTube at the moment in time. And gaming so then like from there it's like business and industry. So my CPMs are quite high, and then there's gaming. The average CPM on YouTube is $6.20 as of like a couple months ago. Do not believe everything you hear, because YouTube is insanely powerful. If you do what we're talking about in this talk, you will make way more money off of YouTube lifetime than you will off of Twitch. Full stop. No doubt. I would bet anything on it. There is not a single doubt in my mind that is true.
Wow.
Ludwig is not a Twitch streamer. He's a YouTuber. You might think he's a Twitch streamer because he's get 25K views, and I'm telling you it doesn't matter. Compared to his YouTube income, not even a thing. Moist Critical is not a Twitch streamer. He's a YouTuber. Moist Critical gets 20K views on Twitch. Doesn't matter. He makes double, triple, quadruple that on YouTube. Easy.
Wow. Wow.
Imagine how much underwear you could buy.
I don't know if I even want to buy that much underwear. Oh, wow. That's crazy. Well, looks like I'm gonna start my YouTube channel very, very soon.
What? You know what, though? I'm going to keep going, because that's not all. Not only that, it's also a better form of discoverability. It's also easier for viewers to find you. It's also going to be more popular. There's also more users per capita per content, 200 to 1. Every single metric besides there's a Twitch chat. YouTube is better. That's it.
My Twitch chat.
And all the content you're doing, you can just put on there. You take Bikini Bottom and you push it over there. And then there it is. Dunzo.
Oh.
In the same way that we were talking about before.
So what should I do first? First thing is, like, if you were to pick, like, if you were like,
So we have
do
3
this
things.
Mm-hmm.
Patreon, YouTube, and your Twitch stream. The first thing you should probably do is set up your Discord in the way that you want to be able to accept people in, because you need help.
Yeah.
And then for the next 3 to 4 weeks, my honest answer is I would do very little. I would focus on your Twitch stream. I would make the shows you're going to make at the quality you want to make them, and ride this walrus until you fall off. I don't know when you'll fall off, because no one knows that, but you'll know when. You'll know when your viewership gets down to, because the upper limit of where you can go with this is kind of like unknown a little bit. You could be a 10K Andy in like 3 weeks. I don't know. It's very possible. My guess is you hover around like 5 to 7 at the end of the day. Yeah, it's a lot. But that's the potential of what you're doing. Like you're a top 0.01%. I told you this already. I told you to have 40 viewers. I told you this. I was like, this is a top 1% streamer. And I'm rarely wrong at this. I can be wrong, but I'm pretty rarely wrong. So if you ride this for the next like 3-4 weeks, LSF clips, Reddit, bam, okay. Once you start to normalize, then you start diversifying. And fuck, this sounds like a pitch, so I hate it. But getting help like from an agency can help you. Because like they'd be able to work in tandem with you while you do this, and you could worry about your shows. Something to consider.
When should I get an agency?
Now is good.
Now?
Around now, yeah.
How do I find one?
If only you knew someone that ran one. Too bad you don't. I guess you're shit out of luck.
Oh, I get it now.
If we do it that way, I would want to give you like 2 or 3 people that I'm confident in competing with me so that you can make an informed decision. Contrary to like popular belief.
Honest with you, Devin, I don't even know what I'm looking at when I'm trying to find an agency. So like,
well, that's a discussion we can have because you need to know that anyway.
I see.
So I have like I'm so before people like cap the shit out of me for this because I fucking hate sounding like I'm pitching something or selling something. If I didn't genuinely believe that this is like a value add for you, I wouldn't bring it up.
Honestly,
yeah.
Sell me. I don't care. Who cares?
I guess I care. So
Okay.
the benefit of having an agency that is concerned with this is that you have somebody working in tandem to keep you in track of these things and keep you supporting it.
Yeah.
And I'll caveat this by saying what we run at Novo is a very, very exclusive agency. So we keep under 15 influencers. Like
Yeah.
typical number is like 60 to 70. And we really, really only want to invest in people that we believe in.
Mhm.
And so I actually I know how to caveat this so I feel better. In the entire time of working with all the Twitch streamers that I have, I've done everything. I've talked to people, everyone from shit, man. There's like pretty much almost everyone in the top 500. Like we've had some interaction. Okay,
Mhm.
I've only pitched one, and that's Arcadum because I truly fucking believed in what he did. I love what Arcadum's doing. I love his world. I want to be a part of everything that he does. And so I was like, Arcadum, hard pitch, join the agency. And he did, and he loves it. He's better for it. That is something that I would extend to you, probably more offline because of the same reason. I think what you're doing is something no one else is doing on Twitch, and that's something that excites me to be a part of. That's what we look for at Novo. We look for people that are we don't care about 10, 20K, 30K Andy. We want to look for people that are doing something that no one else is doing and that are pushing the envelope. So in that sense, I would uniquely offer that because that's something that I think you're doing that makes you incredibly special and really kind of excites me to work with you.
I mean, honestly, I need someone to like. I need some guidance. So I would, yeah. That sounds really great.
It's something we can talk about. I want to my outcome here is to equip you that if you never talk to me again after this stream, you have everything you need. You know the direction. No, that's important to me because this is not about what I gain from this. I want to add value to you because I believe in what you're doing. That needs to come across bar everything else. If I ever sound like I'm selling something or I want something from you, I have failed and I can't deal with that. So this is like my own thing. Like I need to provide value outside of like whatever self benefit. It's just something I need to do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I understand.
Yeah. So
don't get hit by a bus, Devin.
Well, we'll see. If you keep showing me underwear, I might. All right. Lose track of it. So
underwear has no power over you, Mr. Devin.
True. I meditate beyond it.
Yes.
I become more. So if you don't do that, then ask him what it would cost. It costs nothing. We only take a percentage of what deals we bring. That's how our agency works.
I'm down. Like, you know what you're talking about. I know nothing.
You don't want to agree to something like this just because I know what I'm talking about. So like like we're gonna do you're gonna get an actual lawyer who's gonna negotiate against me. And it's going to be like a whole thing. Like that's like you're going to do that for anybody that you work with at an agency.
Wait, I don't have a lawyer.
Yeah, so I can recommend you people that hate me, and that's like who we're gonna. That's how we're gonna do it, right? So like it's important. I can't be the whole. I can't be the sole source of support for you. You have to have a representative third party that negotiates in your interest because if you don't have that, there will be a bias.
How do I get these people though?
Well, we'll talk about the whole thing. This is like it's not as hard as it looks. Like there are people out there who represent talent, who are not attached to any agency, and I know a couple of people that you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a list again, so it's not biased.
Yeah.
And then you can pick somebody that you like, and then that person will have no vested interest in any agency, and they will negotiate against me. So, not to say that there's that much to negotiate about. And I have sent all of our contracts at Novo to Wired, to Kotaku. They've been posted publicly. I'm like, Novo is an agency that's built on an ethical foundation. But even though I say that, there's a possibility that I could have an inherent bias that's to my benefit. So for that reason, you always have to have a third party that supports you that does not have that bias. Does that make sense?
I see. Yeah.
Mhm. So all that stuff we can sort out later.
Okay.
I think again, my outcome is, and I want to also be really really clear. You do not need an agency to succeed. There are some people, especially agents, who will tell you that. You can totally ignore that part of this, and you will be fine, and more than fine. And you need to understand that, like at the core of all of this is your work and what you're creating, and that's what's important. So you could
Well,
build this yourself with
yeah, I
like,
understand.
yeah,
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 but I know my weaknesses, right? And I
mhm.
know my strengths. And my weaknesses are managing stuff. Like I I can't like this like my strengths are like just sitting down and doing like just going. Like but when it comes to like, oh, I need to, I need to have like I can't split my attention to a million different things.
Yep. I know I know this is a really good answer. I just am doing everything I can to sell you out of it so that you understand all of the what right, yeah, so that yeah. It's just like this goes you know this, right, about me. Like I have a really big complex mentally about coming off as a salesperson, being
Mhm.
pitchy. Oh, he's just doing this because he makes a bunch of money off his agency. Oh, he just wants to talk to Miko because he's like, that is not why I'm here. Like I'm here because I really
Well,
truly believe in what you're doing.
yeah, I believe you.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, and even if you had like a different motive or whatever, it doesn't matter because like at the end of the day, I don't really care.
For me personally, it does.
Yeah, I know. But for me, I'm just like, if it helps my shit, then I don't care. Eh, I mean, I care about you, but like,
Yeah, it might
yeah,
just like maybe if it's like to your benefit, you don't. But that's up to you, right? This is my
yeah,
own personal system of values that I have to
yeah,
uphold because it's my person.
yeah.
It's who I
I
want to be.
get you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
get you.
Hmm. I think that you are very direct and proper thinking in your business sense. Like I think you make decisions based on a pretty heavy logic. Seems like to me.
Oh, yeah, ish, kind of. I do make stupid choice decisions too.
What I'm saying is like when you say something like I ch- you've said this to me a bunch of times now and I've like taken a lot of note of it. Like I try to take emotion out of the equation. Yeah.
Yeah.
That like so like you're thinking a lot about like how these things like logically apply to you. What's going on? That's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah. Hmm. I think one of the things that really excites me about this new world kind of
Mhm.
is and I talked to you a little bit about this offline at one point, but it's the idea of like how do we think about advertising in the real world? So we have things like banners and info sections and things like that, versus like in a virtual world, you can incorporate things in such a unique way to make like an experience more like the question is, how do you authentically incorporate an experience of like working with a brand in a virtual world and then sell that, but in a way that makes viewers not think that it's like cheesy and authentic fake. It's a really interesting problem to solve. I think it's one of the reasons why I'm so interested in like the virtual world, like VR chat, um, type of stuff. Like you could have some insane idea, like you could build like a theme park and have like that's sponsored by somebody and have people go through the rides.
Oh,
You see what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like it's like
Yeah.
shit like that where it's like um, there are like these like sort of authentic ways to um,
I
connect with
was
people through virtual
yeah.
world that you cannot do in real life.
I was thinking of just straight up putting Miko into a game world,
Yeah, I
right?
love that. Hmm.
If like a game company, even like an indie game company is trying to sell like their games, like you can just put Miko into as one of their characters and just like, go through the world like that in her mocap and her game animation, etc.,
I
etc.,
love that.
etc.
I think that's
Yeah.
and I think that that's like a really cool eventual goal too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
I think also having like really long standing like goals like that is really important. Being able to like reach out and
Yeah.
yeah. Like,
I want to get sponsored by NVIDIA one day.
oh
That'd be
yeah,
so cool. Yeah, that'd be so cool.
yeah, that's doable.
NVIDIA.
Do you like really like Nvidia or something?
Yes.
Can totally happen.
Yes. Yes.
Yep,
Absolutely.
that can totally happen. Yeah, so I think that outside of that though, like you're saying, what's the first thing to do? I think the first thing to do is like start thinking about like how to build that Discord.
Discord.
And
Okay.
then if anything, here's like what I'll say in this next like 3 or 4 weeks, if any of this like gets overwhelming, just back up and go back to what you do. If you start to feel like kind of like emotionally like you're over investing in these ideas and things like that, like, oh, it's kind of too much for me to think about right now to like build out a YouTube and Patreon, just go back to doing your stream and what you love. And
Mhm.
all that stuff will work out as you start to normalize and like you like once you, because right now you're in the hype. You should be in it.
Yeah, I see.
And then as time goes on, you can kind of like uh start to diversify when like your passion like takes you in that direction. I just like I'm trying to caution against like I don't want you to get overwhelmed the next like few weeks because you're already really dealing with a lot, and I'm conscientious of that.
Oh, I've been suppressing a lot of feelings, so I'm good.
Okay, so that's do we want to go through like the whole psychology of why that's maybe not great? Like,
Oh, no,
yeah,
I honestly don't feel overwhelming or like whelmed anymore. I don't know. I don't feel like in some ways I am overwhelmed, in some ways I'm not because I don't think about it, I
it's
guess.
okay to admit that this is a lot. And not only is it okay, it's like that's like the pathway to like I think we think a lot of the time that
I mean, I definitely shot myself a few times,
yeah, that's
but
good.
like I mean, it only comes like in bursts, you know?
Mhm. I think
um,
I think like maybe you bring your like definitely your boyfriend but also like your friends into this and like kind of just just like give yourself permission to be aware that this is like a lot. You're moving into like a
oh,
you're moving really fast. You're in a different world. It's just going to get crazier from here. And I would say that like taking a step back and like just remembering why you're doing this. I promise you
yeah.
this. If you hold on to that idea that you are here to create beautiful work,
Mhm.
I promise you'll be okay. Above all, no matter what happens,
I'll be just
rain or
a-okay,
shine.
rain or shine.
Hmm.
I had a question. I totally oh, so Mr. Devin, I have so I'm gonna ask you a lot of questions,
Oh shit. Okay.
like off stream.
Yeah.
It's probably about the Discord thing because I have grasped up. I have this issue of like I'll listen to something and I'll remember like I have it, but then I like don't really get it, and then I have to like. Anyway, I'm gonna be asking you a lot of questions.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Okay.
like I'm here to help for sure.
Okay.
Hmm. That's fine. Like you should never feel like you
I'm,
can't do that.
yeah. It's like I might ask you like same questions over and over again
That's
because
fine.
like okay,
Like, I like answering questions about industry stuff because it gives me practice to be able to get better at what I do.
that makes
So
sense.
for me, everything is about sort of like infinitely progressing towards some unknowable better self. And to the extent that I can integrate that, it's good.
That makes sense.
That's my
That
jam.
makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to start.
Okay.
There's a lot more later that comes along, a lot more minutia and stuff like that. But
Okay.
that is like more than enough for you probably for right
I
now.
have a lot to do. I
Yeah,
got that Discord thing
but
and
I think like also
mhm.
the takeaway here is like honestly, man, like you're doing great. Really. Like
Really?
yeah, like I don't like and I don't like say that to people like a lot. Like you're doing great. You're really making something I think that is funny, meaningful and bringing a lot of humor and like there's a lot of ways to add value, right? Like it's not just running like the best quality or production or whatever. Sometimes it's just like somebody comes into the stream and just like needs to get cheered up and like you make their day happy. And I think you do that for a lot of
Yeah.
people. And I think it's like important to keep in perspective that like there's always more you can do, but like
Mhm.
you have really done something incredible. And honestly, like basically as much as we've done the research, and you'll see when I send you the notes, it's really incredible. This is just like kind of all self motivated, self initiated. I'm like
Mm.
really proud of what you've created for whatever that's
Thank
worth.
you. It's out of desperation.
A lot of, if that's true, a lot of the best work in humanity comes out of desperation and a sense of
Yeah.
urgency and hunger,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, hunger makes you hunt. And
Hunger makes you hot.
I think that it's important to just keep that in perspective that like above all, man, like you're doing good. You're doing good.
Oh, I'm excited for more stuff coming up. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm definitely excited.
Yeah, I think you should be. Like the next like this is like your time. Like the next year is going to be like amazing for you. And like
I hope COVID,
you're going to see your
yeah,
dream get realized of like doing this.
I hope COVID goes away.
Yeah, me too. Like a lot. It will in time. Like yeah, push those vaccines out, convince people to take them, and then very slowly we'll sort of recover.
This is true.
But we've got a couple of a few more months of pretty hard times ahead. So that's why it's so important for like things like what you do. Sometimes just lifting people up is the greatest good you can do. Reducing suffering. Some people just need positive vibes, man.
A good laugh and coom. Good laugh and coom.
Yeah, that combination. Yeah. Mhm.
Good love and a goom.
Yep.
I'm I'm a coom. Sorry, it's funny. Said the coomer. Exclaim the coomer. The Urban Dictionary definition of coomer is very funny.
Is it?
Yeah, it goes, those tits, that ass, I'm a coom.
What the fuck?
Exclaim the coomer. That's a definition.
Oh,
Oh, that's the example.
my bloodshot death grip, semi chub, rolled doomfist once again. Is that a female girl? I must sniff. Holy shit, this is intense.
The sex. The comb. Wait. Someone's saying holy ADHD. What happened? Did I bounce off? I don't remember what we were talking
I
about.
think it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're pretty tired. It's been 6 hours.
My ADHD is so crazy. I don't know why I'm talking about cooming. I didn't talk about anything. That top, I don't know. Oh, it's to laugh and to coom, and that's how.
Yep.
Oh my god! Now I know.
Is there anything else you have for me right now? Anything you want to know?
I do not,
Anything?
but I
Mhm.
think once we get off, I probably have a ton of questions as I start making my
Processing.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm gonna start today. So I'm probably gonna have like, hey, Mr. Devin Nash, ping, ping, ping. You know.
Yeah, it's good.
So
Happy to
the
help.
lesser up. And also, I'm probably gonna be like, yo, so pitch me, bro. You know,
Maybe. Yeah.
maybe.
We'll
But
see.
what if I'm asking? Are you taking the offer back?
I didn't make an offer. I just said that I think it could be helpful
Shit.
and that I really uniquely agree with what you're doing and that I think that it's really neat. I can't like entirely make that offer on my own because I'm 50-50 with another person.
Mm.
And he's like my business partner and spirit animal. So I would definitely I've already talked to him about you.
Oh.
But like what it would be is we would have the whole company look at your streams and you know, we'd want like an overwhelming majority to kind of agree with what you're doing and
Yeah,
really
that
want to
makes sense.
support it. Because I want everybody bought in to the idea of doing it and the
That makes
idea of
sense.
supporting it. Yeah, because people need to be as passionate as I am. So like that's like why I use the example of Arcadum was like such a fucking easy thing because like Matt loves D&D, I love D&D. But Matt's actually my business partner. Really interesting.
Mhm.
He has a PhD in astrophysics. And
Oh
he's a
wow.
fucking huge tech nerd, like geeks out about like coding and
Oh wow.
scripting. So I think he would really like this. And that's
Okay.
another reason why I have it in my mind. He's like best person I've ever worked with. Like he's so
Wow.
fucking amazing. Yeah. Like coming up here to Seattle to start this agency with him was like one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life.
Damn.
Super cool dude. Eagle Scout, fucking astrophysics dude, wakes up at like fucking 4 in the morning every day, gets to work at
Seriously?
4:30. Yeah, this guy's
Wow.
he's a fucking monster. Like he works just a solid 13 hours every day from like 5 a.m. Usually gets in the office like 5:30. He's out at like 6:37.
Yeah.
He's hard fucking core. He probably outworks me like pound for pound. No, he definitely does. Yeah. Because I'll be like, wow, I'd love to work that hard. But Cyberpunk's a really good game. I'll just like kind of like get into things and things like that. I'm much more of like a jerk
Mhm.
off, but he's super solid. So you'd meet the whole team, everybody. You'd have to meet them beforehand, make sure you like them, that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
there's a lot to
That
go
makes
on in there,
sense.
but we can talk about it. In the meantime, don't worry about all that shit. Just ask me questions, ping me when you want. We'll
Sounds good.
probably talk all the time. So like we have been. So it's all good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna be pinging you and being annoying. So
Can't be annoying. Fear not. It's all good.
okay.
Okay. Did you have fun?
Okay. Yeah.
Good
This
shit.
was so informative. I learned so much. I feel like I have a better direction too, because before I was like, I don't know where to put my attention to. I don't know my strategy, but I feel like now I actually have a strategy. So this was really, really informative.
I'm super glad. And I want to
Yeah.
stress again that I just really think what you're doing is very cool.
Aw,
Keep doing it.
thank you.
hmm
Thank you so much.
You make a lot of
And
people
you
happy.
are very informative, Devin.
A very informative Devin. Thank you.
You are a very informative Devin. Very good teacher.
Thank you. That means a lot to me. I appreciate it. Just want
Yeah.
to add value. Yeah. Good.
All right.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Mr. Devin Nash.
Of course.
I will
I-
close out my stream.
It's the
And
end. I shall speak to
that's
you
the
again
end.
soon.
All right.
That was really
Bye,
fun.
Mr. Devin.
Good night.
See you later.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Good. Good. Codemiko, everyone. I hope it was good.